Do we have to hit the record button?
No. What a great, perfect start to the stream. We just saw Across the Spider-Verse.
A good trip.
We're going to spoil the whole movie. The entire movie. So if you haven't seen it...
I would have a hard time describing it. Like, I don't know if I can spoil it.
Was Adam asleep during it?
I was actually awake.
Recap the entire movie in 40 seconds.
Starting from the end.
A bunch of colors happened.
And there were Legos.
Yeah, there were Tobey Maguire was there.
There was real people and cartoon people.
Which I predicted.
This morning...
Wait, cartoon people aren't real people?
We did a live stream this morning. I told you the awkwardness comes naturally. You don't have to force it.
Sounds really made up.
This morning on the live stream, Adam chimed in and he said they should do Space Jam style Spider-Verse crossover. Yeah. And we got it. We had actual live action people. I'm going to try and remember all of them. There was Miss Chen from Venom. You were probably confused. You never saw Venom.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think I needed that to understand the scene, so it didn't confuse me. I just didn't know.
But you didn't get the reference.
It means more if you know who she is.
So Spot is sticking his head into different universes like Daniel often does. And then there's a shop clerk, and she's like, "What are you doing in my store?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to intrude on the Venom universe." And then he left.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Oh, he literally said on the Venom.
He didn't say that. There was also Aaron Davis, played by the guy from Community,
Donald Glover.
Oh, I hated that.
Okay, so let me give you the background now. You hated it because you didn't get it. In Spider-Man Homecoming, Tom Holland, a.k.a. Peter Parker, interrogates a guy named Aaron Davis. Mm-hmm. Aaron Davis is Miles Morales' cousin. And he says, like, I got a nephew in this city.
Oh, that does ring a bell.
Yeah, so it's all...
Okay, it wasn't just an excuse to have a cameo.
No,
because they felt like that.
It made sense because Aaron Davis, Miles Morales' uncle, is the Prowler.
Yeah.
So having him show up in Homecoming was obvious setup.
All right, okay. I forgive them.
Yeah, so the spoiler is that he showed up as a live-action Prowler in the midst of all this cartoon nonsense. Yeah. What other live-action stuff? Oh, Andrew Garfield was in there.
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire's Uncle Ben.
It was just their memories, though. It wasn't like the characters
they
showed
weren't
up.
interacting.
They weren't like, "Hey, I'm Andrew Garfield."
Oh, this is more of
what
a
are you
Tobey
doing
Maguire thing. Third one.
I mean,
that's right.
Doesn't that prove that in the multiverse there's a lot more cartoons than live action?
Yeah, apparently we are in the minority. Apparently most universes are animated. We got screwed. That's why we're so sad all the time, because we have too many dimensions.
We need one less.
You mean we don't have?
We need one fewer dimension.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of Daniel.
Enough for the
well, we have too many dimensions, too many D's. Get rid of the D. Daniel.
It feels like you jumped through hoops for that one.
I don't know. I told you it's that felt very natural to me. Okay, so what do we think of this movie? I'll start.
Shut up. What do we think? No, shut up. Let me tell you.
Do you even want to share?
Well, I am curious to learn because you hate everything.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this movie.
Yeah, it's the one thing I like. I really like this movie.
Out of all things.
What?
You said it's the one thing you like. Like, out of all things, not the movie.
That was my point.
That was the joke.
Yeah.
And you explained it, and you ruined it. You ruined it.
I like to think.
I was so
think out loud.
confused by your explanation because it was so unexpected that you would explain my own joke to me.
This live
This is how little he thinks of your intelligence.
This live stream is just as chaotic as the Spider-Verse.
I thought you didn't get your joke.
I know that. What?
So like we talk about the movie.
So what did you think?
He said he loved
He
it.
liked it. It's the one thing he likes. He loved the movie.
Yeah.
Don't you get it?
Wait. Tell me more about how you hate everything else.
I'd like to hear
Jason
a little more.
Schwartzman as the Spot.
So I knew I recognized the
great.
voice. I recognized the voice the whole time, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And then I saw the credits, and I was like, "Yeah, Jason Schwartzman." I haven't thought about him in like 20 years.
Wait, I want to know why Alan liked it.
Oh yeah, I want to expand on it.
I mean, the action was awesome. All the swinging, the
Didn't you like the visuals?
The visuals?
Yeah,
That's part of the action.
I like the visuals. I honestly I remember in the Into the Spider-Verse, I remember thinking sometimes the colors were getting a little distracting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it was the same and I'm just used to it now, but I didn't really have that problem at all in this one.
Yeah, I remember, Adam, when you and I talked about Spider-Verse back in the day on Gil Reed's Comics.
Yeah.
one of our few criticisms of the movie was that it got a little too chaotic sometimes. Like they were taking advantage of what you can do in animation, and when they were fighting in the Super Collider, and it was just a bunch of crazy nonsense.
That's exactly what I was just picturing that right now.
But
Yeah.
I never really got that vibe in this movie.
No, in this movie, when colors and shapes and everything went crazy, it was like abstractions that fit whatever emotions were going on at the time. You know?
Yeah.
So it didn't feel. I didn't really feel too like displaced in space time.
Yeah, exactly.
Continue.
Which happens to you often.
Yeah.
Where am I?
I like that all the proportions of all the characters made more sense.
It's true. We didn't have any Kingpin.
Oh yeah,
was
it
waiting
looked
for something like
ridiculous.
that.
That was
Even
our
the
other
dad-
criticism.
Even
of the
Miles' dad looked like a more normal physique this time. He was previously setting unrealistic standards for men.
movie. It looked achievable.
Yeah.
Not for you, but
A criticism though.
okay,
The
go ahead.
visuals. What?
Nothing.
What's the problem?
A
So
lot of times,
tell us.
before you say that, before you get to that, a lot of times I walk out of a movie and I feel great about it. Happened with the Batman, and then Adam
I
will-
ruin it for
Let's start to point some stuff
Yeah.
out. So before you get to that, I just want to say that my current opinion, which probably won't be the same by the end of this live stream,
you almost spilled water right on
I
your
know.
keyboard.
This is why
the thing's
I bought
closed.
this MacBook because I spilled water on my last
Oh,
one.
yeah.
I loved this movie. I loved it, and now go ahead.
Wait,
and
no,
ruin
no,
it
no,
for
one
me.
second.
Yeah,
I also loved it. Wait, can I say why I loved it?
sure. Are you gonna forget though what you were gonna say?
No, he's
No,
not gonna
no,
forget
I've been
it.
thinking about this for hours now.
Okay.
Okay, my favorite thing about it, this
Yeah.
movie, is exactly what we talked about wanting from Into the Spider-Verse, but where it lacked was actually leaning hard into the drama,
Right.
the dark moments of it. I mean, this movie was actually pretty gritty and dark, and it ended in a pretty dark place. The fact that like Miles feels betrayed by like everybody in the Spider-Verse, I thought was so cool. And the tension of his relationship with Gwen, like all this stuff, it was so dark and gritty. I thought it was amazing. It was so cool.
Yeah, that was one of my big criticisms of Spider-Verse. And I always felt it's fair that the movie went this way, but it would often undercut a dark moment with a joke. They wouldn't spend enough time in those dramatic, weighty moments to my liking. Like that is my preference. I want a more serious movie. But I was like, okay, Spider-Verse is a kid's movie. They're not going for that. The fact that Peter Parker in this world dies and we don't get a second of Aunt May grieving. We see MJ, but she's giving a speech to a large crowd. She's holding herself together. No one really mourns Peter Parker, at least not enough in my view. But this movie, I felt like it, like you said, it's pretty dark. They didn't undercut dramatic moments with jokes. And there was a lot of drama in the movie, like you said.
I thought this movie was also a spectacle, like Into the Spider-Verse. Like I was entertained the entire time, but I wasn't laughing constantly like I was in Into the Spider-Verse, which I was happy about because there were so many moments of like real tension.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
Adam, you can ruin it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, wait. I love is a strong word. I
like it.
I really liked it.
Well, the thing is, like, what movies, if you don't love this movie?
I
what
don't know
movie-
anymore because I rewatched the first John Wick and I was like, I liked it a lot, but I didn't love it. And I used to think I loved it.
I don't want to ruin your life, but I think it's just part of getting older. Like, at a certain point, movies are just, they're not going to wow you as much as they did when you
When
were
I was a kid, I loved
That's how,
Braveheart.
that's how
Yeah.
I feel about
Don't-
video games now.
Do not watch
don't like
Braveheart
it.
Yeah,
again.
it's gonna ruin it.
That's the one thing you're
I'm
holding
gonna be
on
like,
to.
oh, the scene where they all pulled their kilts down and mooned the English, which happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
I used to
yeah.
think it was funny, and I'm gonna watch it now and be like, that's so stupid.
Yeah. Because I think sometimes you guys forget how bad a movie can be. Because I'll give a movie like
I've
a
seen some other
Hey,
Marvel movies.
we saw Quantumania.
So you're just saying I have to lower my standards.
yes, forever.
All right, okay. If I lower my standards, I love this movie,
Okay.
and I don't have to lower them that far to say that,
Right.
which means I really liked it.
So what were the things that made you hesitate?
Wait,
to
I
say-
didn't even get to say the good things
All
first.
right, say the good things. Yeah. Visually stunning.
That is the best thing. The best thing was the visual.
It had Spider-Man in it.
Yeah, and that was fine.
well, not
yeah.
in that one world. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the visuals were awesome. Like the reason I was like call this stream like across the Spider-Verse a good trip was because I felt like I was on another
The
planet.
reason I cultivated that. Title.
Yeah, my
Adam
masterpiece.
Adam came up with that title before he saw the movie.
But yeah, so it was like the visuals were just crazy. Like very tons of variety, a lot of different art styles. It felt like they put a lot of attention into it, and it wasn't kind of what we said before, where it would just like explode into like incomprehensible insanity. This time it fit the mood at any given time, and it made sense. So I thought they did a really good job with that, and I also think they deserve probably the most noteworthy thing about this movie. Like I liked the first one in the series too, but I could barely tell you what happened. There was something with his uncle who was like kind of bad, but like he kind of redeemed himself in the end, I think.
By not killing his own nephew.
Yeah, exactly.
By hesitating slightly to kill a 10-year-old.
Yeah. And so the story was not the big thing that I remembered from it. What really stuck with me was the visuals.
Right.
And on rewatching it this time, I was thinking more about it, and I realized like sometimes every movie trailer that we saw at the theater was for essentially the same 3D animated kids movie, where it's just something's talking that's not normally supposed to talk, and they get up to hijinks.
This is wrong.
Yeah.
Shut up.
So in fact, there was one trailer for one kids movie,
Can I
the Smurfs
guess?
or something.
Oh, the Trolls or whatever.
Trolls.
Yeah.
And then like 2 trailers later, there was another trailer, and I thought it was the same trailer.
The squid one.
Yeah, where it was like
that
under the
was-
sea, the ocean
Oh,
people.
so dumb.
And so
Correct.
it was all the same like bright colors, the same plasticky style, the same like goofy voices and dumb jokes and stuff, that I actually for a second thought it was the same trailer that had been going on for 15 minutes. So to have all of that come before this movie and then see this movie, because I see those things and I'm like, I miss the days of like 2D animation and like going and seeing a something that took more time and care and like into every frame, the way like handmade animation used to be.
Right.
3D smudge blurs all those lines, and I think makes it. There's a lot of other art to it. So whoever's out there who does 3D is gonna get offended and write the comment.
What did they say?
Someone like that got pissed at us once.
Yeah.
Well, I
yeah.
like how they try really hard to make 3D animation look 2D.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like-
so what I was gonna say was like, that's kind of what they did. Sorry, I didn't.
No,
Right. So like they're honoring the idea of like 2D stuff with this.
but they're like, we found an easier way to do it.
Right, which I don't care. I don't care
that
that
it's
they
easy.
do it. But, yeah, I don't care that they have to do it by hand or anything.
It's
Like,
easier than doing it all by
Because
hand.
of one comment like 2 years
Yeah, I
ago,
know.
we're all walking on
they don't even
eggshells.
remember doing it.
What's this comment about?
We were talking about Arcane, and I made an offhand remark that the movement of the characters looks so realistic. I was like, I wonder if they used motion capture. And some guy was like, you demean the entire profession when you say that. A bunch of people worked really hard to make it look good. It did not look realistic. It looked believable. Okay?
Did they though?
What's
And
the
I was like,
difference?
whoa. I was like, it was a compliment. I know you think it was a compliment, but you're demeaning the entire profession. It was J. Jonah Jameson.
You sound like yeah, exactly.
Wait, and he was in the movie,
Yeah, he did some voices.
Played by the same guy.
Oh, it was played by
It
the
was,
same
yeah.
guy.
Which I loved.
With the guy from Whiplash.
He's in everything.
Yeah, he's
he's-
awesome.
Hold on, I got
I always blank on his name, even though he's like.
I know.
And he was in, he
J-
was in
J.K.
No Way
Simmons.
Home.
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, you're right.
He was
J.K.
in No Way
Simmons.
Home. He was in one of the Tom
Keep
Holland
talking.
movies.
Okay.
There's a puddle of liquid here.
Oh, really?
So you did actually spell.
Yeah. Keep talking.
Listen,
Wow.
if you want
Keep talking.
2D, if you want 2D animation, that's
know,
what,
you're
that's what
fine. You can
Newgrounds-
ignore it. You'll
That's
be
what
okay.
Newgrounds is for.
Okay, so anyway, what I was
Man,
saying
that was my chance to take over first chair.
You blew it. You blew it. So anyway, I highly respect that they're doing a very big budget movie that is 2D. It's in essence. It's
Right.
not really 2D. And that's one criticism is they came this close to getting it to the point where it really felt 2D animated. But if I just like unfocused my eyes for a second, I perceived it as 3D renderings again.
Sometimes it looked really real.
Yeah.
It's like I wonder if they use motion capture.
That's funny. Near the end of the movie, it actually looked to me like the lips were super realistic, but the rest of their face wasn't. It
Like
was
that
super
70s
weird. I
show?
was so focused
Like-
on the lips.
In the in between sequences where it'd be like a picture and then only the lips are moving.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's kind of
Wasn't
what
that
it looked like.
70s show?
Well, they were
Honestly,
one of
that's
many.
kind of what
Okay.
it looked like to me.
Yeah, I did not get that vibe.
I didn't
but-
get that feeling till the end when Miles was with the other version of himself in the Prowler, or
So-
he was the Prowler.
So like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a stylistic choice or if they just didn't totally nail the effect, but I have to just guess that it was intentional, because I think they can pull off any look they want to at this point.
They intentionally wanted it to look a certain way when you unfocused your eyes.
Yeah.
I didn't have to unfocus my eyes, but it definitely helped. But like,
It was like those pictures where if you cross
yeah,
your eyes
yeah.
slightly,
I
Like
can
guys,
never
I
get
crossed my eyes the entire movie and I barely saw a thing.
You thought it was a 3D movie.
Yeah. Actually, they did do an effect like that. It almost looked like you were like it was a 3D movie that you were watching with your glasses off,
right?
because things in the background, like foreground would be focused, and things in the background would actually be double, like double vision, the way it would be to your actual eye, which I thought was cool.
Were you not wearing your glasses?
No, I have 3D contacts. But yeah, so I don't know if they just came up short on the goal or if their goal was just different. But I think it would have been better if there were fewer points where it looked like a 3D animation to me.
Right.
Because I don't think that's what they're going for. And so to me, it just seems like they just slightly missed the mark, which I'm not going to fault them, because they're like the first ones kind of doing this. And overall, I really like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was
But it could use a little improvement.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a rare occurrence. Like, I think, like, literally only once or twice I became aware of it in the movie.
It was,
But, I mean,
it was
I
more
also-
common for me, but I was also started to kind of look for it.
Yeah. I think I'm getting better at trying to turn my brain off when I'm watching movies. Cause like I
I didn't know you could turn it on.
Yeah.
I follow some YouTube channels where these guys are talking about these mindless action movies and how great they are. Like for instance, Fast X. Heard it was terrible, and then I watched some YouTube videos where they're like, "Just turn your brain off and just enjoy." And I'm like,
Enjoy the ride.
I don't remember making a video about Fast X.
It must have been a dream. I don't watch any other
Yeah.
YouTube channels. But yeah,
I feel like my default is to have my brain turned off during a movie, because like I don't want to try and guess the twist.
Right.
I'm not trying to find flaws in the movie. I just want to let it wash over me, and then on my second viewing, that's when I turn my brain
it's
off.
funny because guessing the twist, like one of them was so obvious to me. Where the Prowler was Miles Morales.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't even consider that.
The dude next to us, that's Miles Morales. But he said it so much later than we figured it out.
But that guy was definitely high.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't leave a giant mess on
I was not that high, and I didn't leave that much. I almost didn't even consider that a twist. I was like, by that
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
I was like, that's obviously Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Miles?
Didn't recognize him with the
But
hair.
I did like that at the beginning of that scene, before we knew there was going to be a twist, all the foreshadowing, like the signs that he was in the wrong universe, like what did you do with your hair?
That worked
Yeah.
well, because it started
Yeah.
off really lighthearted and funny,
Yeah.
and gradually turned like really
Yeah.
bad.
Like at first I thought, oh wait, did his hair get messed up while he
Yeah.
was fighting? I'm like, no, it didn't. It looks the same.
And then like the drama of him confessing that he's Spider-Man to his
Yeah.
mom, and then his mom like laughing at it was kind of intense, because like, and then there's the confusion of like, wait, the mom actually doesn't know who Spider-Man is.
For a second, I was like, is she just so like head in the sand?
That's
Like,
what I thought at
It's like
first,
a pop
yeah.
culture thing. Like, yeah, I don't know who Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movie things that happens is wait a minute, something is off about this
Yeah.
situation. I can't think of any other examples.
The gate doesn't creak or whatever. The sliders.
The sliders episode. Let me pick the most obscure reference that definitely nobody will get except for DJ
Oh
Scandalous.
yeah. That's how he knows it's not his real universe.
Yeah.
And then you find out it was, because the guy just fixed the gate.
Yeah. Again, like nobody understands this, and I'm not going to explain it either.
No.
DJ Scandalous watched Sliders.
He watches Sliders. Yeah.
You know, I need to go back and like rewatch Sliders.
we have to get off this topic. ASAP.
I watched
Yeah.
it before.
Even
I was
though
like,
Sliders-
It's very relevant. It's very relevant.
All right, I got to do it.
Multiverse.
They did
Sliders.
it before it was cool.
Sliders is a '90s TV series about a group of people.
Change the title.
They
Change the title of the
travel
stream.
the multiverse. They go to different dimensions. Like, what if there was a dimension where
Spider-Man.
Russia ruled America?
Or
yeah.
San Francisco was a maximum security.
Or your-
Dinosaurs are still
or your dreams of becoming a superstar came true. It was a great show, and it did this the multiverse.
Jerry O'Connell from Kangaroo Jack. Starred.
Which, by the way, that movie
and
barely has to do
and
with the
Professor
kangaroo.
was played by Gimli.
That's right.
John Rice Davis.
John Rhys
Indiana
David. Yeah,
Jones.
Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny. It
Gimli.
all ties together.
Gimli from Indiana Jones.
By the way, this Apolock says one
Yes.
take after dark.
That's right.
That's right. And I reached across the multiverse.
Don't let the kids turn this stream on.
Yeah, things are going to get as graphic as the MCU timeline book coming up. You would get that reference if you watched the live stream this morning. One thing I liked about the visuals in Spider-Verse, across the Spider-Verse, is now we get to spend a little more time. Actually, in the first movie, we didn't see other universes, except when characters were like, let's do this one more time. In my universe, I was bit by a radioactive pig, which is weird because he's already a pig. So where do the spider powers come in? But here,
funny.
we started in Gwen's universe, and her universe is a different animation style. It's kind of more painty, sort of. A lot of different colors, which is true to the comic. And the first movie did a great job of honoring the comics, the source material. This movie did even more. Like, just for example, when they were like, we have to maintain the canon. In every Spider-Man universe, canon event ASM 90, Captain Stacy gets killed. And I haven't looked this up, but I assume Amazing Spider-Man issue 90 is the one where Gwen's father gets killed. That stuff is so cool, but not distracting.
You mean like just the referencing things that kind of break the fourth wall, and that these are coming from comic books?
Using the comics as actual plot points.
Yeah, I didn't find that to be an issue. at all.
Not an issue, and also just really cool. Like, even the best example I always go back to is in the first Spider-Verse. The triumphant moment is when Miles Morales takes his leap of faith. Remember the moment where he's falling down in the city, but they turn the screen upside down so it looks like he's rising?
Oh, yeah, that was
He
cool.
does that, and then it pops up, like Spider-Man, Miles Morales, issue 1. Like, he has crossed the threshold. He gets his own comic now. And they were doing that throughout this movie. Whenever you reach a major
Yeah.
event, it's like issue 2.
It's
issue
like
3.
chapters of the movie.
Yeah, it's so cool. But probably nobody's going to walk out of the theater and pick up a comic book after this.
You're not. Well, no, you
Well,
actually might.
I
but-
might.
Oh, no Nick Cage?
Yeah, that did
They
disappoint me.
show, like, if you're not going to have him in it, don't even show Noir Spider.
Well, it was
Noir
a
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man Noir.
Don't
It was-
even show him, because you're just going to make me be like, why? Yeah, but why didn't he
Well, he
actually
might
have a
be in
role?
the next movie,
That
right?
was
'Cause
the-
she got the team up.
Next one.
Yeah, that was the tease that she set up a
So
new.
you think he'll actually be in the next
Oh,
one?
for sure. I
Like
would-
Nick Cage?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's one of my complaints there, to be honest. And it's I'm really looking forward to the next one, but I felt like things ended too much in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
But I want some closure. I want to still feel like I'm watching a movie and not a part of a series.
But
You know
I
what I'm
was-
saying?
I liked that they weren't like, we have to do it, like tie it up and then leave a cliffhanger of
So
like
you
what's
like-
gonna
so
happen.
you liked it
They
in
just
June,
they're
too.
just like, this is a two-parter.
Well,
Bam!
here-
It's like Lord of the Rings.
Here's the test. If the second movie were out now and you could go watch it, you wouldn't have that same complaint, right?
right. So you just don't want to wait.
Well, so it is kind of a
Well-
weird thing because you do leave a little bit unsatisfied, which is a negative feeling, but it's intentional, right?
And I did not expect it to end like that at all. It was like so sudden.
Yeah.
But to know that it's not like a stay for after the credits and then you see the hand twitch and that's how you know there's going to be a sequel. It was like they weren't messing around. I like
But
that.
what an odd choice. Like, even the Lord of the Rings movies, like, I don't know.
But it feels like deliberate. Like they have a story
No,
to
it
tell.
is
that
deliberate, and I like it, but it's just an odd choice. No, like,
Well, it's
why
very
did-
different.
unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most movies don't do
Yeah.
that. Like it shows most studios are not willing to commit to like, let's literally end the movie halfway through and bank on the fact that it's going to do well enough that we should go ahead and make another one.
Like they have when after the next one, like the movie series is going to be, you have the first movie, then you have the second, part 1 and part 2.
Right.
Like that's kind of unique, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been done before. Back to the Future 2 and 3, Matrix Reloaded, and Revenge. What was it called? Resurrection? No, I don't remember. But
I mean,
Revolutions.
Back
Yeah,
to
that was the
Future,
third one,
there,
yeah.
it's still like, this is...
It's still kind of
it's
the
future
self-contained
movie.
story.
You know, this is the West.
it was definitely more self-contained.
Like this is not a complete story.
No,
like,
not
without
at
the
all.
second
Like
one.
it
Yeah.
stops in the middle of the story.
Which I find that kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I do too.
Because it
no,
just
I-
means they have a more epic and long story they want to tell.
Maybe when you guys are older and closer to death, you know, like maybe subconsciously,
make it.
I'm worried I'm gonna die before it comes out in like what 4 or 5 years. I know.
Is your last name isn't Stacy, is it?
I'm
you're
actually-
not a captain.
I just got promoted
We have
to
a canon,
Oh no!
of my tennis team.
canon event.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not.
Captain of the.
Wait,
Or
no,
like
I'm
the-
confused. Like everyone has an uncle die and
I
the
was gonna say
captain
the
die.
cheerleading squad.
No, it's one or the other.
No,
And then I
it seems like
decided
it's
not
both
to.
for Miles though. Miles' uncle died and his captain dad is gonna die.
Well, that's how it was. So in the original Spider-Man, his uncle died, his Gwen Stacy's father died,
Who's the captain?
and then Gwen Stacy died,
Ah.
killed by Green Goblin. Actually, thrown off a bridge by Green Goblin. Spider-Man tried to catch her, and the whiplash broke her neck.
Wait, so was Gwen Stacy the original MJ? Like I always
Yes.
thought of MJ as the OG.
No, he was in love with Gwen Stacy first.
Wow.
And then she died. And then MJ was like, finally. And then the two of them got together. And she was like, face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot.
So why in Tobey
Aren't
Maguire?
you, then she's like, "Aren't you glad your girlfriend died?"
So why did they flip it in Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? You think? Why'd they go for MJ?
It's just trying to simplify the story, I think. And then they brought Gwen Stacy
Yeah,
into Spider-Man
Spider-Man
3 and
Yeah.
totally botched it.
And he didn't understand why MJ was mad at him. after
All
he
I
kissed-
did
Yeah.
was kiss another girl upside
Yeah.
down, you know, and
Which they alluded to that moment when
Yeah.
when he was invisible, hanging upside down right next to
Miles
Gwen,
Morales
which
was.
is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I just had a random thought, which is that the Spider-Verse, like, what's the central nexus with all the Spider-Man living together? What do you
like
call that?
the HQ.
It was summer.
Yeah, where it was just
Like a
like thousands
futuristic
of them.
one.
Yeah, okay, whatever. It's the Spider HQ at, like, in the multiverse.
Yeah.
That's basically like where all the Ricks and Rick and Morty, like where there's like a Rick and a
Right.
Morty, and there's like, you know, millions of them,
Yeah.
but they're all like different variations on each other.
Right.
So it just occurred to me.
That's a great observation.
It was similar to the Rick and Morty thing. It was also similar to Sliders, where there's like a civilization that
This is
slides around.
they had all these copies of each other. It's all right. Here's one a serious thought.
Yeah.
What's cool and captivating about Spider-Man as a character is the tragic heroism.
Right.
It's like one of the OG tragic heroes, at least like in my mind.
Shakespeare's like, what did he just say?
Thou art full of baloney.
Yo, we got a message from Movie Files.
Oh, movie file.
And I like what he had to say. I think that's interesting.
The conclusion. This is the long-awaited crossover.
Yeah, it's not like I was saying anything.
It's like
Adam's Movie Files.
across the YouTube verse. Movie files. You're not gonna forget what you're.
I already did, but I'm trying to grasp it again.
Can somebody rewind?
no, I'm getting it. I got it.
All right, silence.
No, you can
The
talk.
conclusion of this story to me was the Gwen arc versus Miles. At the start, Gwen was seeking friends and acceptance from her dad. And by the end, she got them both.
Yeah, and she got the courage to side with Miles too.
Yeah, that's right. Because one of the positive things about this movie is that it has a very. Why are you smiling? I'm saying a real thing.
No, I'm smiling because you're still talking quietly, like because you want. Adam to-
I remember it.
I love the message of screw you. I'm gonna do whatever the
Yeah.
hell I want.
It's very anti-authority.
Fate says your father has to die. Good.
Wait, no, bad.
No, I did really like the Miles saying like, "Screw it, no, like I'll do both. I'll save the universe and I'll save my
How
dad."
great was that moment where he's like, "You can't do anything. You're a stupid kid." He's like, "Well, I did lure hundreds of spider people
Yeah.
away from your HQ, leaving only Spider Bite."
Gil, can we hear what Adam has to say already?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, okay. Here's like the thing that's awesome about it's the tragic hero thing.
Yeah.
Like you have all these different things wrapped up in one. You have like a coming of age story that's like, what's so funny?
I wanted to interrupt you and be like, "Oh, movie files is here."
Tony just stopped in.
Yeah. Did Tony really stop in? Yeah.
Hey, Gil, actually about that.
No. Okay. All right. Everyone, be quiet. Adam, go ahead.
It's okay, movie files. Don't worry about it. Okay. It wraps up a lot of like things that deeply resonate with I don't know. I think like young people who are growing up.
Right.
You have the coming of age story. You have the like feeling like you're meant for something more. What's going on?
Nothing. Just keep going. Keep
I
going.
agree with what you're saying.
You feel like you're meant for something more. Some tragedy happens. You can't fully express yourself. Like you're fighting your identity with how your like parents and people you grew up with
Right.
perceive you versus the person you're growing into. There's like a lot of like it's all about balance and like discovering what's right for you, but also constantly feeling pressure from the outside and from your own moral compass. There's just like something really neat about it.
Yeah.
It has themes that really, really, I think, would resonate for. I mean, I think they resonate pretty universally.
Yeah.
But for me, it takes me back to when I was younger, feeling all those pressures. But it doesn't lie to you. It's not like Quantumania, where it's like, yeah, if you
No,
want to
it's like it's gonna suck.
yeah, if you want to
Yeah.
build a machine that can traverse the multiverse, yeah, you can do it.
This felt super real and gritty.
And where I was going with that was what's cool about the what's cool about the multiverse setting for this story is you get to see how many different ways it can be told, and how it makes it feel more universal because you're like, okay, you have was it Moonpatton?
Oh,
Right?
that was awesome.
So you have like the Indian Spider-Man
Such
story.
a great
Which
sequence.
is awesome. And like he has a completely different personality. He's like happy-go-lucky, optimistic, and all this stuff. But the tragedy hasn't happened yet, right? So you're seeing, and the setting is completely different. Well, it's 50% New York, 50% Mumbai. But like, you see all these different characters who have very different personalities and different aspirations and stuff, who all struggle with the same basic thing, and that's what makes them spider people.
Yeah, it's, Stan Lee and a lot of other people say all the time, or he used to say, that anybody could be behind the mask. That's what's so great about it. But I'm like, every issue he takes his mask off and you see it's Peter Parker. So I think this movie does such a service for that theme. The first Spider-Verse did it, but this one blows it up. You see so many different spider people. And I love that whole Mumbai sequence.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, it's such a great melding of drama and comedy. Because on the one hand, you're laughing at how cocky he is. But on the other hand, you know that he has tragedy in his future because he's a spider person. And then the tragedy doesn't happen, which might mean that he is not fully equipped to deal with all the difficult things in his future. So it's this complicated mix, and the movie is more complicated than you would expect, especially compared to Spider-Verse.
In the next one, he's gonna struggle. He's like, I'm not the man I'm supposed to be because
I have to kill my father.
he died. He murders.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of complexity in the movie. Like
It's not his dad.
Gwen,
it's his
Yeah.
wife's dad.
His girlfriend's
Girlfriend.
dad.
Nah, he was pretty
Gwen
good.
Stacy and Peter B. Parker, they're both friends to Miles. He feels betrayed by them, but you can fully understand why they made the choices they did, right? I'm trying to remember. It's very
No, it was
complicated.
because I mean they were
Like
basically
they'll break
told,
the universe.
That's right.
They were
that's
told
right,
they
yeah.
would break the universe, and the fact that he can't be a part of their group because he's a mistake, like he's an anomaly himself. I thought that was pretty intense.
Well, and also, who's like kind of the dark evil Peter Parker in this one?
Oh,
the vampire
Miguel
guy.
O'Hara.
He was cool.
Yeah, he was awesome.
And like, he knows what Miles is feeling because he tried to do the same thing, and saw the consequences. So he's basically like, if I could go back and stop myself from doing it, I would. You know?
Yeah,
that
And
was
I
such a
can't, and
cool-
I regret it. And so, even though this kid doesn't understand it, I have to stop him.
Yeah.
For his own good and for everyone's own good.
I love that we have the typical villain, the Spot, where he's like, "You ruined me, and I'm gonna have my
Yeah, and
revenge."
he was funny too.
Just
yeah.
purely emotionally driven, and then you have the more complicated.
You have the serious villain happens to be the more complex one, and the one that's like not necessarily really a villain. It's like in theory you could look at like Thanos and be like, well, he was trying to do something good.
right.
That was
He-
such a cool
he was-
scene
I
when,
think he was
when,
an idiot,
when
yeah.
Miguel is walking, like holding his daughter.
Yeah,
and
that was
everything just gets blipped out of existence. After his daughter gets blipped out, he just like walks and stops even like caring.
Yeah,
So did
that's
his
like
whole
so
universe
good.
actually fall apart?
Not his universe. I
The,
think
universe he dropped into,
Yeah.
that whole universe,
So it seems like, yeah.
like massive scale, entire universe
That's
wiped
the thing.
out.
So like if you know that,
Yeah.
okay, if I don't act at any cost, an entire universe might blink out of existence.
I love that he makes sense as a
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
And it's like he's not just evil.
Yeah, it's
Like-
not like, see, some people would try to say that about Thanos, but you really can't wrap your head around it. It's like, I have the ability to manipulate existence and matter, yet the only way to solve our resource problem
Yeah.
is erase half of all
Yeah.
living
Like,
things.
yeah, I believe that he believes like he's doing the right thing, but it's like so objectively the wrong thing.
And you can imagine that we might see an arc for the vampire Spider-Man in the next movie where, like, yeah, obviously, if he knew it was possible to do what Miles Morales wants to do, he would do it, but he doesn't believe it's possible.
Yeah, maybe Miles somehow. I mean, it's almost like he's like he lost the spirit of Christmas, and like
Yeah.
the cockles of his heart are cold and frozen.
Cockles are ruined.
Yeah, he's got ruined cockle syndrome. I mean, yeah, we could see that Miles does something, an impossible task.
Yeah.
And it changes. He has a change of heart. It would be cool to see them work together because they make what's his name again?
Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah, they
Or
make
O'Hara,
him
I'm not
seem really cool.
Yeah,
And,
let's-
like
let's
he's got
call
like
him-
a cool badass
The
costume
way
and
he's
everything.
slowly.
Oh yeah,
By the way, do you think there's anything to read into the fact that he's got those claws and Miles goes like, "You got claws? Like, are you sure you're even a Spider-Man?" Do you think there's any?
That was interesting. I did
Yeah.
think-
Really, I just took that as making fun of how badass he is, almost. Or he's doing things that are atypical for a spider person.
Maybe, I mean, he is very atypical. For
As
a
you could
Spider
say it for
person.
Miles Morales. Like, you turn invisible.
Yeah,
Are you
that's
sure
true.
you're not?
True, but he has a reason. Like he's not supposed to be Spider-Man, so maybe he became a different kind of Spider-Man because he wasn't meant to be.
Like, I wonder if Miguel, maybe, I wonder if it's foreshadowing that, like, Miguel is also an anomaly or just something.
Yeah, and suddenly he'd be singing a different tune. Like, hey, it's Miles, guys. You got a good point.
But Miguel, it was also really funny after he's, like, attacking Miles and Miles escapes. And I forget who says it to him, but they're like, we're supposed to be the good guys. And Miguel's like, we are the good guys, like, very uninspiringly.
I don't think
Well, like,
said
he
it,
is
but
the
he
good
sounded
guy.
more confident.
Yeah.
He sounded confident, but
Yeah.
it was very uninspiring in the scene.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he said it, you're like, I don't know if we're the good guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Are we
that's-
the bad?
No, he said we're the good guys, but he said it in an evil way. Like, we are the good guys. It was
Well,
He
okay.
said angry, like, you are the good guys.
yeah.
This is a popular enough game that people might get the reference.
Mm-hmm.
But in Overwatch, one of the characters is Soldier 76, and his part of his backstory is like he was considered a hero. He was known worldwide, like for being the head of Overwatch, which is this group that protects the world from. They're basically like kind of like the Avengers almost. And he basically there's a major incident, a lot of like it's something tragic and a lot of death. He becomes this like dark, gristled guy who's like mostly hated by the world. And he kind of plays by his own rules now. He doesn't care about the law, but he's just operating outside the confines of it and still trying to do good in his own way. Like he's not doing evil, but he's like Batman, kind of like I'll lurk in the darkness and like I'm willing to crack a couple eggs if it means doing what's right overall.
Right.
So I love that kind of complexity to like a villain because it's very sympathetic. They're basically doing what's good, but more efficiently than you're comfortable with.
I mean,
Right.
I don't even know if you could call him a villain in this movie.
Antagonist of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an obstacle for Miles. But you could easily see a version of the movie where he's the main character.
Yeah.
But you could
I
see
would enjoy that even more.
Yeah,
He was just so cool.
he was awesome.
his emotions really ran wild though when he confronted Miles, right? So like he's got a good cause, but you could also see there's like venom in there.
I wish they showed him a little. I wish they kept him actually calmer because it would keep up the idea of like this is a rational person if he didn't get as
It would
as,
make
like-
him even more of an obstacle because he'd be harder to argue with.
Yeah,
You can't
yeah,
point
you're
to like,
he
your veins
really
are
has a good
bulging.
point.
Clearly,
Yeah.
you're pissed off. Your cockles are all messed up.
I feel like whoever developed
Tied up
that
in
AI,
knots.
I feel like whoever developed that AI that he was talking to, I think it was AI.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
like it seems like whoever developed it was like, I'm gonna add some humor in here just to mess with him.
We gotta lighten the
like,
mood,
he
yeah.
definitely won't like this.
I liked where he goes, do the thing, and the AI's like, what thing? He's like, the thing where you explain everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of really like small jokes. There were so many crammed in there that it's hard to
The
remember a
jokes
lot of them.
felt smaller. Like I think
Yeah.
in Spider-Verse, you literally had a talking pig walking around. Like
Yeah.
it definitely felt. You had noir Spider-Man, Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
looking at the Rubik's cube, and he's like, "I don't understand this, but I will."
Oh yeah,
Like the humor was a lot more overt. you
Yeah,
know?
I think. I mean, a lot of the humor felt more be like realistic.
in this movie.
Yeah.
This almost reminds me of like the Harry Potter movies got more serious as the characters
Yeah.
aged, and like it's kind of similar here.
Yeah.
It's like a little. It's not. I wouldn't say it's like mature or very serious, but it matured more than it was before.
Yeah, for sure.
Are we gonna talk about it?
Yeah. What?
Miguel's ass was just ridiculous.
Oh.
It was absurd. So we talked about there being like just unreasonable physiques in the first movie.
Yeah.
In this,
We
movie,
all been wanting to say it.
Yeah.
we all noticed
I mean,
it.
the fact that
The elephant in the
One
room.
take after dark.
It was just insane in a few scenes.
I can honestly,
Go
I
on.
can honest to God say, I did not notice at all. But I'll look for it.
His costume was ridiculously tight.
Honest to
You couldn't-
Gil, I did not hear.
I mean, all the Spider-Mans have ridiculously tight costumes.
Yeah,
Nothing at
it's-
all.
it's super
Nothing at all.
It was like that.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. That's a Ned Flanders reference in Simpsons.
Thank you,
Oh,
Daniel. Like the sliders one you glossed over.
Yeah.
Everyone knows sliders. Simpsons, though.
Yeah.
I gotta
You-
explain that.
You know what? There was a surprising lack of Genki. He was
Yeah,
in 2
was
scenes playing
Genki,
video
yeah.
games.
Oh, the
Right.
roommate.
And they foreshadowed him becoming the guy in the chair.
he knows Miles' secret identity.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
revealed that in-
that
That's
was
what I was
weird.
gonna say. That's what makes it even weirder. And
No,
there,
but
and-
that was revealed.
No, but it's
Hold
weird.
on, hold on.
Yeah, let alone talk.
Let me say something.
He's
One
making a lot
of the
of sense.
points of this movie was how lonely it is being Spider-Man because you have this secret, you can't tell anyone. It's just a lonely life. But they ignore the fact that his best friend knows, and like he could talk to him about it. It's you're still hiding it from your parents or potential significant others, but I mean that's a pretty big deal. You have someone you can talk to about it.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
It's
actually.
weird, yeah, because Genki, he's played 100% for jokes in the movie. Like he'll say, like, "I'm not your guy in the chair," which is a funny reference to.
It was also
Homecoming.
marketing for the new Spider-Man 2 game.
Oh, he's
Oh,
Genki.
yeah.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
playing
he's
Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's literally playing the Spider-Man game, which for some reason I felt the need. I kept poking Daniel. I was like, he's playing Spider-Man. Like, I know.
They
No,
also one of the multiverse Spider-Man was Spider-Man from the game.
yeah, Spider-Man PS4. That was
that's what
awesome.
that was.
And then I think one of a Spider-Man from I think the Ultimate Spider-Man animated series or one of the animated movies. He was very prominently featured at one point. He was like, "It's true, Miles. You have to accept it."
Yeah, I remember that.
Sorry,
That did happen.
I was in like 1,000-yard stare because
Yeah.
I started wondering what if I wasn't choked live on the air because he was coughing, and I was like, man, if I did the Heimlich on him or something and saved
wow,
him,
yeah.
it would go viral. That's the thing.
Adam.
Now everyone knows our feature. I got you.
It's a canon event. Stop. This is Daniel's origin story.
I shouldn't have revealed my plan.
He's a captain.
We'll cut it out.
Yeah,
All right, now.
it's live.
What else do we got? We talked a little bit about Spot. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So I
I
liked
need
him.
more holes.
It's so funny.
He started funny, but they also didn't. They allowed him to develop into a serious threat. You know,
Yeah.
which I liked. I don't like when you have something that we're supposed to find scary, but they keep undercutting it and making fun of it. You can start with that at first because he was still learning and developing his power. But once like his color flipped to like dark and then he had the spots were the white. you
Right,
know?
it inverted the colors.
Yeah, like he became this void, and like by then they weren't playing him for laughs.
It
anymore.
was cool. They literally called him the villain of the week. You think he's just like the start of the movie just to
Yeah.
show Miles has still got
Yeah, I really
him,
didn't
or
expect him
he's
to
gotten
be-
more advanced, and it's like,
Yeah.
they didn't take him seriously, and look what happened.
And it's just like what's so funny about him is the way that he has this just running commentary throughout
Yeah.
all the fights. It's this very calm voice, like, all right, I'm trying to figure this out here. It's like, I'm still in the ATM. It's not your ATM. It's the bank's ATM.
I thought he might be a Spider-Man just because he kind of had that figure,
Right.
You know?
He goes, "This is my first time robbing
Great
somebody.
butt.
Please don't make this a bad experience for me."
Oh yeah,
He was
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and
You
so
think I'm not even really robbing you, the ATM? It's the banks. They're the real criminals.
Yeah, he actually gave Peter Parker a run for his money with all his quips. You know,
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
he was
quippy.
more quippy than.
It's almost like quip makes it sound like it's a quip. It's like a one thing you said, but he was just one long, unbroken quip.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so he created the spider, or what did he do?
He was working on.
He
was
worked on the
working in the
spider.
lab.
I was working.
No, but it couldn't have been his spider though, because the spider came from a different dimension.
Yeah, but
So now I'm losing.
see,
the
that's
plot.
the thing.
Yeah,
The whole time I was like,
He
what
threw
exactly?
a bagel at him. Movie
Well,
file.
yeah.
but he opened the portal that let he opened the portal that let the spider through, maybe
Right.
because he
Yeah, but
was
then
the
how
one
did he
working on
get to that dimension then? Or no, he opened a portal that.
Yeah. To
Yeah.
the Earth.
But
42.
what's he so mad at Spider-Man for? Just the bagels?
But
No, when he destroyed the reactor. When he destroyed the reactor, it turned him into Spot.
yeah.
Wait,
The
I thought he
explosion.
turned himself into Spot.
No, the
Didn't they
explosion
show
of
a
the reactor-
scene that made it look like he was doing it to himself?
He was doing it
They
later
explained
more.
That's why he's pissed.
Oh, he was
Spider-Man,
adding more
and that's
spots.
why they're rivals.
Yeah,
Or
he needed more
nemesis.
spots.
Yeah.
Well, holes. He needed more holes.
All right. Let me just.
All the holes jokes were funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop talking about your holes.
Yeah.
It's Spider-Verse After Dark.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Daniel's innermost secrets.
Yeah. Yeah. The holes were metaphors.
Yeah.
Right? For what- that was no metaphor. Okay. What else is there? We talked about Spot. Talked about Miles.
We talked about the vampire guy.
Oh, the dad was funny.
I like when
Yeah.
they would sit upside down.
He said
Yeah,
something that I
yeah.
thought was hilarious, and now I can't remember.
Miles' dad or Gwen's
Yeah, Miles'
dad?
dad.
There was some. Oh, when he brought back, they're like, maybe we need to let him spread his wings.
Yeah.
Man. I loved all the fake voices. Whenever
Yeah.
that whole scene of Miles trying to use a fake voice with his dad when he was dressed up as Spider-Man, and then when Gwen did it to her dad, I just found that funny every time.
They made it, there were a lot of touching moments, and I generally don't feel emotion.
Yeah.
So, like, even that scene, which was, like, funny, because, like, he doesn't know that he's talking to his own son. It was like, they added enough humor from Miles' end, but it was also, you're like, man, this is sad.
That was my biggest. We started out with that, but my biggest complaint for Spider-Verse, which wasn't even a criticism of the movie, it was just this is why the movie is not fully to my liking, is that I want that emotion.
Yeah.
And there was so much of it in this movie. It's in the running for me to be the #1 Spider-Man movie, possibly. It's in the running.
It was dark.
I really like seeing a cop and Spider-Man being like legit friendly, and he's not saying to Spider-Man, "All right, get out of here, go," before they like come see me talking to you. Like he
Yeah.
didn't care. Like it was like Gordon and Batman.
Yeah,
Except also he would tell Batman, "Get out of here."
Yeah. It was a breath of fresh air. Like it wasn't doing all the cliches we've seen.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you're not gonna stop Spider-Man. You may as well just let him do his thing.
Yeah. And he's proven
may as well
himself.
be
Like
friends with him.
I hate this whole like
I mean, Miles has made a lot of mistakes.
Spider-Man is clearly not a menace though.
He's a menace.
J. Jonah
It's like you're trying to stop the bank robbers. Like, Spider-Man's robbing the bank. And I'm like, the robbers are holding the money bags. What are you talking about?
Yeah, this is how the news works, though.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, who's holding the
It's like
money
the most
bags?
realistic thing in the movie.
Well, it's like if the cameras arrive when Spider-Man's holding the money bags, so he just took them away. That's it. It's like when Gwen Stacy's dad saw her
Yeah,
over Peter
exactly.
Parker. Done.
Daniel's-
You can't. No one's imagination is strong enough to assume anything else might have happened until that moment.
Daniel's giving one the Heimlich maneuver. Daniel's killing a one.
Stop it.
They
Well,
hold you back.
so it seems like y'all
y'all
enjoyed the movie.
But what is
one thing you would
that
change to make the storytelling better?
Adam.
Well, we said one thing.
What was the one
Well,
thing?
you said you wouldn't have cut it in half, right?
No. I was happy with that. I just thought it was a
I
unique
happy with
choice.
it. You
Yeah.
said that.
You guys said you hate.
I said it was an
You guys
odd.
remember Daniel's the one that said
All
that.
They
right.
said it was
Anyway.
irredeemable.
No, I agree with something Alun said about this.
Look.
Alun said he would have. I think it was
Not
Alun.
enough Genki.
He would have liked to see the vampire Spider-Man Miguel be a little more rational.
Wait, is he a vampire or does he
Yeah, I
just have
think-
sharp teeth?
No, I think he's literally. A
They didn't
vampire.
talk about that at
No,
all.
I
man.
think they said vampire
Does
at
he
one
suck
point.
blood?
Man,
They
They
did,
said
but
vampire.
Yeah.
maybe they only said it 'cause
Do you
of the
remember
suit.
when he was first introduced? We saw him like open up and like.
There was something. I mean, yeah.
Does he just have sharp teeth? Is that why they call him a vampire? Because they didn't talk about him sucking
it
blood.
seems
Is there
that
bat DNA?
yeah,
there?
okay, he has fangs. So some
Right.
people think he's a vampire. He's not a vampire.
He just did he bite someone?
He didn't bite
No,
anybody.
he- but anyway.
But he was preparing to bite the Da Vinci guy.
Well, you could bite someone without being a
Are we
vampire.
sure he's not? Like, does
Wait,
that
you
actually
sure
say?
He is not a
I don't-
vampire.
I don't remember thinking he was gonna bite someone. I remember seeing him running with his mouth open.
No. At one point, he had the Da Vinci guy ready, and like all of a sudden, like these fangs
Oh, I like the
came
Da
out.
Vinci guy.
And like he
big.
looked like
Oh,
he
The
was-
art style was
yeah,
cool.
and he
He
was
looked
about to
like
go bite the
paper. He
guy.
looked like he was made of paper.
Well, we can't literally have two conversations
Sorry.
at once. You can't.
Well, you have to
Put one in one ear and one in the other.
Anyway, so I agree with what Alon had said, which was like it to keep, I guess not the vampire, to keep Miguel just a little more rational would make him a slightly more formidable opponent.
Right.
Than him being so but I don't know.
Emotional.
I did like the emotional intensity of him telling Morales that he's like a mistake. Like
I liked him.
yeah.
I know what I would change to make the storytelling better. Third act, it started to drag for me.
Yes, that's true.
Like
Yeah.
bad.
It did. It slowed down a bit, and I
Yeah.
felt like I knew going in this was part one of a 2-part movie.
Why didn't you tell
See,
me?
I'm glad I didn't. I heard something like the ending is different or something like that, but I'm glad
Yeah,
I didn't really.
I like to go in knowing as little as possible,
Yeah.
so I didn't want to know that, but there's no avoiding it. I mean, when it was announced like 3 years
You're in
ago,
the biz.
That's right. Yeah, I'm in the one take biz, so I knew this was gonna be 2 takes. But when they announced this movie, it was announced as a 2-part movie. But you definitely felt like it starts to hit the brakes. It slows down in the third act.
Like once I don't know, I just felt like once he got to the I forget, like once he was kicked once he was banished from Spider Kingdom,
he
it really slowed down.
he
to a
went to
crawl,
Earth 42.
pun intended.
Good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that honestly seems a little weird to me is so we went to his spider's world, and it just felt like a really it's a brand new story starting in the last 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, and it just
Except it took 40 minutes. I don't know.
it just feels like he's in that world because of the overall story, but what's going on in that world just seems completely
Like it's a
unrelated
new
to
start,
everything.
yeah.
I think there's some thematic continuity there though. Is that like I don't know, something
You
about
got
like
to
the
a
importance
world.
of Spider-Man, right?
I don't mind the direction of it. It was just the pacing. For me.
Yeah, it's just it did
Yeah.
feel like the movie slowed down. I think there's no denying that, even though there's logical explanations for all of it. Except they kept cutting to Spider-Man 2099, just doing this, looking around. And
Was
it's
he
like
the one who kept narrating his own actions?
no, that was
That was
Ben,
one of the guys on his crew.
Ben O'Reilly, I think.
okay.
Ben Riley.
Spider-Man 2099, you mean Miguel?
Miguel. Yeah, Oh yeah, sorry. You guys wouldn't know that, I guess. Yeah,
knew
Spider-Man 2099. You would know that. Miguel O'Hara is typically called Spider-Man 2099. When his comic appeared on screen, it said that.
Okay.
Because Nueva York, where he lives, it takes place in the year 2099 in his universe. So he's like the vampire Spider-Man, right? So he's on Earth 42 looking for Miles, and they just kept cutting to him standing on a roof, like looking
Yeah.
around like this.
That's weird.
And like, where's Miles? Where's Miles?
He was
And they
there a
made
long
sure to
time.
have
Oh, wait.
a perfect silhouette of his lower body
Well-
for the Daniels in the audience.
I'm being stupid right now, though. Miles wasn't on that world.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he was on
So
Earth
that's
42.
that's the point. That's also showing us they can't find him.
That's why the whole movie. I mean, that's the logical explanation for why it slowed down so much.
Yeah.
Is because they totally lost Miles. Miles doesn't even know where he is. So that actually makes. There's a reason why it slowed down, but when you're so into the movie and you feel it slowed down, I don't know. Maybe that's a bad thing.
It can slow down.
Yeah.
I mean, it needs to slow down.
I
here and
guess
there.
for you,
it
it's
just
I felt bored
just
at that
at
point.
some point I was like, this has kind of been slow for a little too long now.
Especially it's such a fast-paced movie generally.
Yeah.
It's kind of surprising nobody seems to put the pieces together that Miles, like where Miles is exactly. Like, first of all, shouldn't the computer tell them where it sent him? And number
Yeah.
two, like they should know that goes by the spider.
Yeah, and they know that he was bit by a spider
Right.
from a different
Yeah,
dimension.
he's the one that told him.
Yeah.
By the way, I did love the really creepy spider thing they used to send people to different dimensions.
Yeah, that was
cool.
cool.
The way
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
cool.
weave the web.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Just go in.
Liam Corey says, "Good eye." Sydney, Australia.
And then in case
I said that good, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good. And then in case we were like, wait, who is he saying good day to?
Yeah.
He said it again.
Oh,
He said, go ahead.
good
Say it.
eye.
From Sydney, Australia. And then he added at OneTake this time. Well, good day, Liam Curry.
Cheerio.
Cheerio. It's great.
not
It's great to
Australian.
see you. Oh yeah.
Ni hao.
No Australian Spider-Man. There's a British one.
the punk.
You know, they could
British.
do like a crocodile wrestling Spider-Man. That'd be funny.
That would be cool.
There was a T-Rex.
Oh, and he wrestles the croc.
Hey, who is your
right?
favorite?
The croc guy.
Oh yeah, Lizard.
Doc Croc.
Doc Croc.
Just came up with
I
that.
like the punk one with the
That was good,
jean
right?
That was
jacket.
good. Yeah.
The one with
Okay,
the
wait,
jean jacket
she's
that's
hap-
ripped.
She was dating him.
Yeah.
His
She's
tooth-
like-
Oh, definitely.
her toothbrush.
Oh.
I don't want to say.
Toothbrush at his place.
She had to. She had to. Well, first of all, it looks like a big age
It's
difference.
an age. How old?
First of all,
I don't want to
No,
get
no,
into
but
but
I
in
don't wanna
his
get into
dimension, it might be okay.
I don't know if it
She
works like
said
that.
she was. It's possible they're friends. She was crashing in his
No,
place.
look, you have to assume that if you're Miles, you must assume that they were doing stuff.
Yeah,
Definitely.
if I was in his position, I would assume it.
But also, she thought that she could never see him
Yeah.
again.
But also,
like, she had
it
to move
almost-
on. The question is how much time had passed.
It's been a while.
Well, it's fine.
I'd never get over it if I were him, ever. And I'd hate that guy forever, even though I actually liked him, like me myself.
Spider-Punk.
Yeah, because he hates everything.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I liked his. He would always add little caveats. Like he'll make a joke. I don't believe in comedy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Don't. Who is your favorite spider person in the movie? Just in terms of like, obviously, all of our favorites.
Well, they're all funny.
No, my favorite is what's his name?
The horse.
Punk.
No, the bad one.
Oh,
Miguel.
Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah, he was my
Yeah.
favorite.
Mine too.
I like the one with the ripped jean jacket that was like, nothing unusual about the walls. I'm now in the alley.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was funny. I liked him a lot.
Ben Riley, I think.
Wait.
Yeah,
he
Ben
was-
Riley.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah, so he
Okay,
is.
same guy.
So here's the backstory on Ben Riley. There was something called the Clone Saga back in the 90s.
Attack of the Clones.
It was Spider-Man Attack of the
No,
Clones.
Yoda from Attack. of the
It
Clones.
started out as this one story arc that people loved. There was all these clones running around. Like there's 5 Spider-Men. What the hell's going on here? And then it was selling so well. They're like, we need to elongate this arc. And so it kept going on and on. And people were like, enough already. Then they had this twist where they were like, Peter Parker, he's not the original. He's the clone. Ben Riley is
Sixth
the original.
Day.
Yes,
Sorry,
with Arnold
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger. So that's who Ben Riley.
Danny DeVito.
Then they
Yeah.
they eventually retconned it, and they're like, no, Peter Parker was the original. Ben Riley is the clone, and Ben Riley has had a hard go of it. Bad stuff
Like
happened
just in terms of his run in the comics or in his story.
in his story. Just bad stuff happens to him all the time. He's just like the dark, broody Spider-Man. So they made fun of that in the movie. That's why he was like, I'm just thinking about my memories.
Oh, that was funny. That was hilarious.
That was
yeah.
a particularly bad one. Voiced by Andy Samberg.
Oh yeah.
I
told
was
you that
wondering.
story,
I saw after in the cast Andy Samberg, and I couldn't piece him to her character.
Yeah.
I think I saw the
funny.
Spectacular Spider-Man there from the show.
He showed up. He
But
did, yeah.
I didn't notice the original Amazing Spider-Man from the 90s cartoon, and I didn't see the MTV one.
Ooh, the MTV one
And
wasn't
what
in
about
there.
the Japanese one?
We
Yeah,
saw
I
her
know.
for a sec.
No.
you're
I'm
thinking-
talking about the Japanese movie.
You're talking about from Spider-Verse.
And what about we did? There was reference to Sinister Six in
They
the
probably
new
don't want to
universe.
risk
That's right,
Japan's
yeah.
wrath with their copyright.
Yeah, Japan is they're up.
Don't even talk about
I
Japan.
can't. I'm extradited. If I go to Japan, I go straight to prison. They arrested people for doing movie recaps.
Yeah.
They're in prison.
Yeah.
I recapped the entire MCU.
And Sony's a Japanese company, isn't it?
I don't know. I hope not.
Sony's Korea. It's South Korea, right?
No, you're thinking
That's
Samsung.
Samsung.
Yeah.
No, Sony's
Well, we
Japanese,
can
although
still
I
go
don't
to
know which.
Japan, though,
You
right?
guys can go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why the Japanese Spider-Man wasn't in the movie. Amy Pascal didn't want to end up in prison.
But we had the one that like is in like a spider mech, like the anime.
Right. So
style.
she was Penny Parker.
Penny Parker.
Yeah, I like her. She's funny.
Yeah,
I hope
she was
she gets.
Well, we
more.
got her at the end, so she should be in the
Yeah,
next one.
I hope they actually like follow that through and like all the fun Spider-Men that teamed up with in the last time we like see them again.
Spider people.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Spider-people.
Yeah, I miss Spider-Man. I missed all of them.
No,
Like Ham,
Ham.
I'm kind of
Wait,
glad
no, Ham.
he showed up at the end again.
Okay.
And he did actually, when Miles was like thinking back on important moments in
You heard
his
his
life,
voice, right?
You hear Ham's voice. I forget what he said.
Yeah,
it was like, that's all, folks.
Should have heard
Yeah,
at least each of them at least say one line at the end, like "Happy to help." Like
Yeah,
or
it
something.
felt like they didn't have Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage.
It's kind of like
you
Sandman
could end on him being
and,
like, "Hey there, stranger."
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
in
exactly, yeah.
No Way Home, like
Oh.
Sandman and who was the other?
Oh
one?
yeah, he didn't say a
yeah.
word. They
Oh.
just CGI'd him
So
as Sand the whole time.
so bad.
They're just like,
yeah.
I don't get it. Did he just want too much
No,
money?
here's what happened. So, okay, here's what we're talking about. If you watch Spider-Man No Way Home, the Lizard's in it and Sandman is in it. But weirdly, they're always in lizard and sand form. The reason for that is the actors participated, they provided their voices, but because of COVID-19, they couldn't get on set. So when they turned back into human, they just recycled footage from the old movies. So it's this awkward thing of like Sandman turns back human, then just goes like this. Then Lizard turns back and he goes.
It's like the old software that would morph one picture into another picture. So it
Right.
just like slowly,
Yeah, so it's just
and everything between the frame A and frame B looks really weird.
yeah, it was so bad. It was so distracting. It takes you out
It's
of the movie.
sort of like in She-Hulk, how Mark Ruffalo, like they couldn't pay him enough to actually act in it, or maybe or they couldn't pay him enough to be willing to do it. Maybe
Wait, what are we talking
He
about?
was in it.
No, he did the voice, but
Who you talking-
they
what?
kept him in Hulk form the entire time in She-Hulk.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
really?
because he became.
Yeah, even when it made no sense, he was in Hulk form because they could just
No, he
CGI
became
him.
like a permanent Hulk.
It made sense.
Oh,
though.
he did, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo, the character. He
Don't you think that-
the
yeah, but-
Avengers didn't they?
There's no way they could have gotten him to actually act in that whole series.
well, but I'm just saying though, like in Endgame, it was.
Okay, they found it. They found a way that it
Hold on,
fits with the canon.
you gotta let me explain because the folks at home have no idea.
Yeah, but I
The
want
folks at home, Apollock has no idea
Yeah.
what the hell you're
to
talking
be lost
about.
without this.
Mark Ruffalo.
Ruffalo,
Isn't it Ruffalo?
I don't know.
Ramanov.
So,
Oh, dude, too close.
He's in She-Hulk.
what's the name of the guy? This, you guys got me all
Hulk.
confused now. No, the human form of Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Bar,
A Barry
All right.
Bark. Oh, never mind.
Banner.
Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner.
Yeah, I know.
He developed a way to permanently be Hulk but smart with glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That
That
happened
was-
in Endgame.
It happened in
why
Avengers
is it
Endgame.
permanent? He can't go back to human.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Well,
want
that
to.
was the
Why
trade-off.
doesn't he want
Would
to?
you
That's
want to
like
look
in
like Mark?
X-Men where the blue guy
Yeah, he's the
embraces
famous
being
actor.
the blue guy.
You would want to look like Mark Ruffalo?
Dude, he
I-
couldn't
if I could
control-
turn it on and off, yeah.
He didn't like that he couldn't control himself as the Hulk.
Okay.
This was the
All right,
only
it
way.
makes sense canon-wise that he's permanently the Hulk.
And
But
also,
you
I
know
think- I think
that
he
that
would
was
be-
very convenient for them in She-Hulk because
Listen,
he wouldn't have
I
acted
think
in it.
he would have been 100% willing to come on set for She-Hulk if he was in human form.
I think he would have
no,
begged to be. in it.
knowing him,
I don't think so.
So they actually
No,
CGI
no,
him
I
the
see
whole
what you're
movie-
saying.
I
the whole
actually
show?
do think he would have
see
been
what
willing
you're
to.
To me, it looked the animation was so good.
Maybe. I
thought
don't
it
think
might
they
have been-
could have paid enough.
I thought it might have been motion capture. Question is, will Miles end up going to the MCU after the recent announcement of Sony officially working on live-action Miles Morales? I have to tell you, I hate to break the news to you, movie Mr. Files, but that news is kind of bunk, to be honest.
Oh,
So-
this was the you'll see.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
all.
I'll read this
Well,
to you, Adam.
go check out our live stream from this
Yeah,
morning.
watch
if
our
you wanna
live
know
stream
the
from this
answer.
morning. So a lot of people, don't look at this.
Ah.
I'll read it to you. A lot of people are reporting, confirmed, they're making a live action Miles Morales movie. Here's what it says in the article from Variety.
Can I
So-
guess?
Okay.
It's
Do you think
not
there's a chance I'll get it right?
Literally,
No.
I 0%.
Well,
chance.
actually, I already said
Okay,
it,
never
but-
mind.
Okay, so Variety, they were at the red carpet premiere of Across the Spider-Verse. And this is what they wrote. Producer Amy Pascal says a Spider-Woman and live-action Miles Morales movie are in the works. Quote, "You'll see all of it," she told me Tuesday at the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse premiere. It's all happening.
Wait, that
It sounds
refers
like-
to nothing.
First off, we don't know what question was asked of her.
We have to assume it means the first sentence.
Right, but it sounds like you could have asked her anything.
Well, it's like, are you gonna do it? And she's like, well, I'm not gonna give you a yes.
Exactly.
And then just quote yes.
It's all happening, guy. It's the way you're going to see all of it. I think that's how she said
Yeah. She was wasted at the premiere.
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm seeing all of it right now.
Yeah.
So basically, that article was very vague. I would not take it. The number of movies that Sony has announced, they announced El Muerto. It's coming out in January. Have they started filming it? No. It's not happening. I'm sorry. Jackpot. Sinister Six. The movie where Aunt May is a spy in the CIA. These movies are not happening. And I'm going to put live action Miles Morales on that list. I'm sorry.
But
Now
but it definitely
We
will
might
happen
see
eventually.
live action Miles Morales just in terms of another one in the multiverse.
It might happen. So, but I guess the
There's-
question
that's,
of
I don't see why they would have to do that, but it's not out of the question.
I could see it. So what I said this morning to Daniel on our live stream is that I like Miles Morales, but right now he's stuck in this situation where his stories have to be multiverse spanning. It would be cool to see a more focused kind of personal movie. And one way that you could do that is the live action Miles Morales movies are the smaller ones, and the animated ones are the crazy big ones. That would be cool.
But it would be a different universe, right? Because we've now established that animated characters can go into live action worlds and they stay animated.
That's true.
So to make a live action Miles Morales, it would need to be a different Miles.
Yeah, they'd have to
Morales.
break continuity. But the question is, would you want to keep the same actor or recast? Shamik Moore, that's who voices Miles Morales. The only problem is he's a little too old right now. He's 28. So you could do it, but you'd have to age up Miles by at least 10 years.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
By the way, I'll issue a formal apology and correction. Movie file says Mark Ruffalo was on set and they motion captured him for all the Hulk performances.
It must have been motion capture.
So I was wrong.
So
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Files.
But just to be clear, even though they motion capture, it's still a lot of work for all the
I'm sure
artists.
he's right about that. So
Even with motion capture, it's still a lot of work for all the artists.
definitely,
look good.
yeah,
It's so much. It's
so much.
It's actually pissing me off. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about it.
They should strike.
It's a sacred profession.
Liam asks, "Who's your favorite Peter Parker / Spider-Man?"
I would say
Tobey
Miles
Maguire.
Morales. Just kidding, he's not Peter Parker.
Yeah,
Well, I think no, slash Spider-Man.
Slash
He's
Spider-Man.
he's
Wait,
a
what did you say your answer
Spider
was?
person.
he said Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, blinded by nostalgia. On
No, well, I guess yeah, but
say-
I'm aware of it.
Nicholas Hammond from the '70s show.
Well, it's like Adam West.
He's Batman.
Yeah,
That one's Batman.
I know this.
You're supposed to turn your brain off
Do
for
you
the
like
movie,
the
not the live
Tobey,
stream.
Tobey Maguire one? Or you be very what's it?
What are you saying?
Where you could be like non-mainstream. What's the
Well, I
word?
see we're not talking
Contrarian
about
and say
Marvel,
Andrew
sure.
Garfield.
Yeah.
Easy
I
within the
was
90s
super-
cartoon.
I was so excited when they announced that movie. I thought Andrew Garfield was like really cool.
He hasn't
at
been
the
that
time.
excited since Shang-Chi.
That was one of my favorite.
I was just excited to see
What?
the movie.
Let me explain. This is one of the best scenes of OneTake. I was hanging out
I think
with.
life is a movie.
For some reason, I feel like we were in a hot tub. Is that true?
No.
Oh,
I just like to imagine it that way.
I was sitting next to a one, and I mentioned like
You
there's-
can't put any credibility on this story now. You thought we were in a hot. When was the last time we were in a hot tub
this
together?
part definitely happened. Somehow it was mentioned. I was like, oh, some reviews came out for Shang-Chi. And he goes, Shang-Chi's out? Like,
little
Wait,
exaggerated.
he never showed any interest in it before, right? You wouldn't expect him to
why
care.
is he so excited about
But you understand my
Shang-Chi?
perspective, right?
So now, whenever anyone acts more interested in something than you think, we'll just be like, "Wait, Shang-Chi's out?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie. It's great.
Well, Aquafina was great in it.
Yo, put on the bird song for Little Mermaid.
I wish they were all
When's
as
the
good
sequel
as this.
coming out?
I wish all the movies were as good as this.
Yeah, when is Beyond the Spider-Verse coming
No,
out?
when's a sequel to Shang-Chi coming out?
Beyond the Spider-Verse is releasing March 2024.
That's not that far away.
Yeah, it's like 9 months.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's like the dad's joke where
Yeah,
he's like, it was like, was something
like having
compared
a
to
baby.
being like
It
having
was like
a baby.
giving birth.
And she's like, no,
Or
it
having a
wasn't.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to study for an exam to become
He had a
captain.
lot of good dad jokes. To become a what?
To
Captain?
become captain, he had to study for an exam.
I thought once you get in the academy,
Yeah.
like your exam days are over. Or no, once you graduate from the academy, you know,
Apparently,
no more exams. You don't have any weight requirements.
apparently somebody has an exam tomorrow. Super bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Seth Rogen.
Why wasn't he in this movie? I just feel like Seth Rogen should be in this movie.
TMNT.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
He's too busy with that. With
Oh, the Lego- I like the
stealing
Lego
the
one.
animation style.
Oh, the Lego
Spider-Verse.
thing was awesome.
That was awesome. Oh, and when it went beep boop.
Yeah, that was great. We spent way more time in Lego World
Wait,
than I expected.
yeah.
Remember that joke to me? Everyone started laughing.
Oh, because he was making it sound like himself.
Oh, like he would go.
I don't think it was like intended this way, but I interpret it as like they're actual Legos. They don't make like I don't know. I guess it still doesn't make sense.
think
'cause
it's
he has
a-
a
it's-
voice.
But he made the
It's
sound.
the same way
himself.
as like if a kid was playing with the Legos, they would do the sound effects.
That's the reference.
Now I don't
yeah.
actually know if he made the sound himself or if it actually made it. Like, but either way, it's funny.
It's like stuff like that. It's funny, but then you think more about it, and like it's actually really, really creative. Like
Yeah.
that's a hard thing to come up with, and they
And
just,
it
they came
actually-
up with it and they made it funny. And
Yeah, I mean, it looked like they might have actually done that with real Legos, like stop
Yeah.
motion.
I hope they
I
did.
mean,
Do you
That'd
think
be
it was
cool.
motion
It
capture?
looked like motion capture.
It'd
That
be
guy's
harder to
hair
get
is on
someone to
fire.
walk like a Lego, like a person.
I loved. What was I gonna say? Hold on, nobody say anything until I
But-
remember this. Something about
so you're thinking
Spider-Man.
about Buster.
Yeah. I lost it. You guys erased it.
Something about Spider-Man.
This was probably going to be the best comment on the live stream too.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. Legos.
Yeah, the making the noise, the stop motion, motion capture.
It's good. Oh,
Shang-Chi.
I got it. I loved. So comics will often have little info boxes.
Yeah.
That will like define something or explain a reference.
and they explained what something was. I forget.
Yeah, I got
Two
it.
different things.
So the one I
Several
liked,
things,
I think it was called
least.
Hammer Space.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was cool.
They actually said it. They're like, he's got hammer space, and then it explains that's for animated characters where they can fit
Yeah.
hammers and other objects in their
It reminded
pocket.
me of Guybrush Threepwood.
Because you wonder, like, how does Spider-Man just pull a hammer or anvil out of his pocket, and they actually define it as hammer space. They say it about the Vulture guy. They're like, he's got hammer space.
That's funny.
I thought that was awesome.
They also did the slang for the British guy.
Right.
Oh,
that
that's
they
what it
put
was.
out in the box.
Yeah.
I think there were more things. It happened several times.
It
in
did
the
happen
movie.
a few times.
Those are
yeah.
the only two I remember, so maybe that it was just those two.
Perhaps.
Okay, got a few questions to go through here. Ready? Movie files. The Miles. We got to do another crossover, by the way. Movie files. Last time we did it was like Devs watch along. I think the Miles live action will definitely happen. Think about Spider-Man: Homecoming, hinting at Aaron mentioning his nephew. I believe they'll make it official after Beyond Spider-Verse. I think they might. Here's the thing, though. This movie really tries to set it up that Miles Morales is an anomaly. There's only one Miles that was bitten by a spider, right?
But they could also come up with a formula that turns him into live action or something, you know?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So I'll say this. I'm sure Miles will appear in live action at some point. It's all happening. You'll see all of
Yeah.
it.
You'll see.
I'm sure it's happening. I just don't know how soon. Was Silk in the movie?
Silk was mentioned, like Silk itself.
Silk.
In alternate reality, she's like, "Do you shoot Silk?"
Okay,
at
so
your
the
butt or
material of Silk was
Yeah.
mentioned.
Oh, okay.
something? Sorry.
Yeah. Silk is Cindy Moon. She is a character who was there when Peter was bitten. In 2014, it was revealed that the spider that bit Peter also bit Cindy Moon before it died. And then she took on the name Silk.
Oh, so she'd be an anomaly too.
No, because it's from the same universe. So,
No, the spider came from a different
Wait.
universe.
not Peter Parker's spider.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Cindy Moon actually appears in Spider-Man: Homecoming, but so far there's no evidence that she was bit by that spider. And they are making a Silk TV series for MGM Plus, which will then air on Amazon Prime.
Silk is a
MGM
better name than
Plus.
Simoon. Also.
What's with all these third-rate streaming? So you got Peacock, MGM Plus.
Now I'm about to blow your mind.
No, what is it?
Peacock.
No, yeah, but then the one with
Paramount
Paramount.
Plus. I'm gonna blow your mind right now. MGM Plus, not a streaming service. It's like a TV. It's like a channel
Oh,
Oh,
on
what?
TV. It's a channel. It's a TV channel.
What is that?
Yeah, what is that? Okay, Ryan Trutner just came in. Rating. I don't know why.
Tretner.
Rating out of 10 of the
Obviously
movie.
pronounced T-Ratner.
Each one of you. Rating out of 10.
8.
Daniel,
9.5.
Hold
9.
I just don't. I can't remember the last time I saw a movie I enjoyed more than this one.
Yeah, so I
Mario.
went 9.5.
Okay, yeah, Mario. I would say
We
pretty
were
equal.
turning to each
This
other
is
and being
better
like,
than
this
Mario.
this
movie
is
is
better than Mario.
perfect.
Listen, Mario is pure fan service. Nothing deeper than that. This
Yeah.
was deeper than that. I think that overall this is a better movie.
It serviced you,
yeah.
but it also has depth.
Cockles for service.
Yeah.
So what would you give it, Gil?
I just like if this movie.
He wants to give it a 10.
No, I'm not going to give it a 10. I have a question. If this
9.9 with a
movie,
line over it.
if this movie is not a 10, what is a 10?
Well,
Goodfellas.
okay, wouldn't it be more of a 10 if it didn't drag? in the third act. Like, if you can see room for improvement anywhere, it's not a 10.
Okay, I agree with that. Okay, so it's not a 10.
And then it's just a question of, okay, those things that could have been improved, how important were they to you? So like, there's maybe things that could be improved in a movie.
Okay, well, let's say,
but you're like, but it really doesn't. Like, yeah, that could have been better, but it had no impact on anything for me. Then it really shouldn't matter. In your rating.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's obviously, it's not a perfect movie.
Yeah.
It dragged a little bit in the third act, but I thoroughly enjoyed. Like, I was having the time of my life for, I would say, like 90% of it, which to me says, just mathematically,
9.
it's a 9 out of 10. But then you have to go through, it's a 9 out of 10 on the pure joy scale. Then you have to go through the next filter. There's this whole idea of art having an impact, right? And like affecting you with themes and everything. But I figured everything out already. I kind of understand life. I don't need art to help me understand it. So we can just disregard that right now.
Good. I don't know where you're going with that.
No, but I will say this: right after you see a movie, you have this extreme reaction. Like, I loved it. I'm like walking out. I'm like Spider-Ham walking in the air. Like when I smell a pie.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
Through
great.
the air when you smell a delicious
But
pie.
like, I felt not quite as much as Guardians 3. I felt pretty good. Definitely not as much as this movie. And then I watched it again, and some of the flaws became a lot more apparent. So to get a fair rating, I have to watch it again. But right now, like in my gut, I feel like a 9 out of 10. Like, this felt like this was one of those rare movies where it felt like a watershed movie in my life. Where like, I remember seeing Spider-Man the first time, and I would go back and rewatch it every once in a while. Like, while watching this, I felt like I look forward to watching this again. And that's pretty rare.
Yeah, I think you're caught up in the present like emotions about it, because they call it a watershed movie. Like, have you had a watershed movie in the last decade?
That's what I'm saying. But like, the mere fact
maybe
that
like some of what is it?
That's Craig Zoller?
Yeah, maybe some of his movies, but like,
but the mere fact that I thought that just tells me it
tells you it's probably a 9.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Look,
So
No Way Home, I
10
didn't
is
feel
if
as
it
good
really
about
lasts.
right after.
Hey, definitely No Way Home. I felt great, but like in the
The
moment,
more I thought
But
about it,
I still didn't. I don't think I felt 9 out of 10.
I
great
didn't.
with that.
even
right
in the
after.
moment though, I felt like a lot of this is nostalgia. A lot of this is just, it was so awesome
like
seeing.
90% of it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you rewatch it and you're like, a lot of these jokes, these are really dumb. These are like top 100 Reader's Digest jokes.
Quick thing.
You watch the live stream from this morning to understand that reference.
I gotta go to bed.
All
I'm
right.
so tired.
Oh yeah, you don't even live here.
I know.
All right, get out of here.
Ugh.
Oh, an air mattress?
crawl back into whatever hole you came out of.
Oh wait, that's all, folks.
Can you even legally say that? The
I don't think
Spider-Verse
so.
reference.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Spider? Wait, you know what I didn't answer? Who's your favorite Peter Parker? It's just nostalgia, though. That's the thing.
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
But also, like we said earlier, like, I love drama. I love melodrama. And I feel the Tobey Maguire movies, especially two, they took themselves
There's a lot of sincerity.
a lot of sincerity. Yeah, they really, like, they wore their heart on their sleeve. And like that, just, I love that. So, who's your favorite Spider-Man villain? Willem Dafoe is the Green Goblin.
Topher Grace.
Alfred Molina. No, shut up. That's not true. What are you talking about? I guess he really was a villain. He ruined the movie. he was a villain that transcended the medium.
It
Like,
wasn't his fault.
No.
The role was
He
just,
should.
just didn't make any
it was
sense.
Sam
Although
Raimi's
he
fault.
should have stepped up and been like, guys, I'm not right for this.
Yeah.
Apparently,
That would
Jenna
be the more
Ortega does
heroic.
that a lot, I heard. On Wednesday Addams, she would refuse to say certain lines. She's like, this is stupid.
I like that. See, actors need to step up more. When how often does a crappy movie come out and you're like, nobody on set realized how dumb this was. Nobody said anything. The actors have a lot of pull.
Yeah.
They should be speaking up.
I mean, how did the original actors from Star Wars ever agree to be?
I mean,
They're old and
Look,
don't care anymore.
look at all the interviews with Mark Hamill.
well, he just
Oh, yeah, that's
he
true.
just wants to make the fans happy.
But no, but he says,
But he
like,
didn't.
Last Jedi, he's like, I don't know why they did that. They shouldn't
yeah,
have
but
done that.
he did it though.
Yeah.
He could have said he could have just said, I don't want you to ruin this character.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. That you can't give the excuse of like he was okay with it. Like clearly he wasn't.
Yeah, but I
didn't
think he
take
did it because he
stance.
wanted the fans to get their movie. You know what I'm like? I don't know. I don't know what goes on in his head at all. But
Yeah.
and I don't know why I'm talking.
I
about
don't think
this.
he did it for the fans. I think you know,
Oh, we're talking about because it's Topher Grace.
Because the fans did. Wait, what?
No, I'm kind of agreeing with you
I
that
thought you were
like
talking about Mark Hamill now.
no, yeah, but I'm wondering
Okay.
why we got. But I'm agreeing with you that like, if you're an actor who isn't doing something because you need the money, and maybe a lot of them probably are. We have no idea what their situations are, but like, it would be nice if they could just stand up for this like a good story and be like, don't ruin it.
I'll say
Yeah.
I think the Mark Hamill situation is a lot different than the Topher Grace one. 'Cause I think Mark Hamill knew this was a mistake what they were doing with this character. I think Topher Grace was so caught up in it and so happy to be doing it, and he's like, "This has potential. Like it's a different
I just
direction.
had no
It
idea.
can work out." Like I trust that he didn't think it was a bad idea.
Well, he also had a lot less power in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I would say. I don't even, to be honest, like how much power does Mark Hamill have? He's not like a huge actor. He's Luke Skywalker.
I think
Well,
he's
he's a
big enough.
major voice actor.
I will say he has a
and-
lot of leverage because you need him.
That's
for that
what I was gonna
movie.
say.
Yeah,
and he's just like a legacy kind of person.
yeah.
He probably holds a decent amount of sway
Dude,
over people,
if
but he's
Mark-
also, from what I understand, very, very nice. And like, probably, I just can't see him being pushy about something.
Yeah, I think that's part
assertive.
of it is. Yeah, he would have just
I
Daniel.
feel like if Mark Hamill wanted to make his own Star Wars movie, he could. That's how I feel.
I just don't know what that's based on. God.
It's-
I don't know.
it
You mean like
just-
he could write
It's
it?
just like that he's such a major actor and character and has such a
I feel like he's
presence.
too old now. Like Disney just doesn't care about him.
I mean, Disney
They don't care about
is
the
just
character of
so,
Luke.
Yeah.
Disney's just so like everything's calculated. They've
yeah.
probably done the math and realized like, yeah, a lot of people are gonna complain, but in the long run, this is
Disney-
actually
We need to raise a new generation of Star Wars fans with their
I mean,
own characters.
For all I know, the next generation isn't annoyed about any of this.
Disney is
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2099. The algorithm says that Gwen Stacy has to die. The algorithm says that these beloved characters can never reunite on screen because that's what the fans want.
I just hope the algorithm
Subversion.
treats OneTake well.
Nobody ever likes subversion.
Yeah, stop subverting our
Stop- yeah.
expectations. Stop it.
Give us what we want.
That would subvert my expectations.
What would subvert it is if, like, yeah, now it would, but like, give us what we want, but even more than we thought we were gonna get.
Give us what we want that we didn't know we wanted.
What
Yes.
you really, really want.
Tell me what you want.
Okay, so what was your favorite villain then?
I got to go with Willem Dafoe.
Me too.
He's great, and then
And I just rewatched John Wick the other day.
he's great in that too.
Yeah, and I'm just like, man, I like Willem Dafoe. The way you feel about Joe Pesci,
yeah.
that's me with Willem
I've
Dafoe.
been going down a Joe Pesci rabbit hole the last few days.
Yeah.
He's awesome. And then Willem Dafoe's reprise in No Way Home. Like as much as that movie, I'm saying when you watch it again, like it's not that
Yeah.
good. He's great in it. No?
He was great. He's a great actor, but maybe it's just age and makeup and stuff. But his face looked a little too different. It was like almost too like
Well, I'm just going based.
grin. Like the grin was like too. It was overkill from what he was coming from.
Okay, I may have to watch it again, but like my memory, I've watched it a few times, and my takeaway is always Willem Dafoe does a great job. I do
He
think
did a great job. It was probably just age. You know,
it
you
could
can
be
only do
that.
so much about
But
it.
when he's doing the helpless old man thing, my
That was
son's
great.
not
That
here.
was great.
I was gonna say I actually didn't like that
Oh,
much.
wait, really? No,
I loved the manic like you
wait.
idiot
So,
moral.
wait, let me
I
say-
thought he was messing with her
let me say,
when I first
maybe.
saw it.
I thought it was
But
great
no,
from
it
the
was.
perspective of he's a good actor. I didn't
Yeah.
like it for the character.
Right.
I wanted to see him as, I'm something of a scientist myself. Like
Right.
that guy.
Oh, dude, what was with? I don't like that they put the in the palm of my hands joke in this movie. Like,
It's not even a joke. It's just like
well, the
phrase.
reference is a joke.
wait, they didn't put it in
Spider Verse.
They did use the phrase palm
Yeah,
of my
he
hand.
said in the palm of my hands. Like it
I
was a
remember
clear
that, yeah.
reference to me, and
Oh,
I'm
wow.
sick
Yeah,
of it.
I picked up on it, but I don't remember what it was.
I totally missed it.
yeah, can't remember. the
I would
exact
also just
context.
add though, I think Willem Dafoe. This is the thing that's unfair to the other villain actors. He just had more to do. Like he had the fun goblin laugh. He was totally unhinged.
I mean, Doc Ock.
Doc Ock,
was
I
awesome.
think Doc Ock had equal footing.
He was great, but he just didn't have the same like the way that Joker. Everyone praises
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger for Joker, and he did an amazing job. But it's also like I think us as lay people, it's hard to pick up on the nuances of like, wow, there's a great actor right there. But when you're doing stuff like Batman came into our city and took away, you just have all these crazy things you can do. It's like louder acting. And the character allows for that. And I think Green Goblin allows for louder, just crazier
Bombastic.
things. Bombastic, yeah. Which Doc Ock, Sandman, they don't really give you that opportunity. So
Well,
Willem Dafoe is my favorite, But I think part of that's just because of the character.
And James Franco's New Goblin. I
Yeah.
wouldn't vote for him either, but
I liked him as
I mean,
Harry.
I liked him as
Yeah.
Harry. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't like him personally.
Yeah, must. I don't know really any of this.
Yeah, I
stuff.
know.
I didn't just know he's supposed to be bad. My favorite Bruce Campbell cameo
Okay, yeah.
was the one where he was the like waiter in the French restaurant
Oh.
when Tobey Maguire was trying to propose.
That would be
He
Spider-Man
kept
3.
running in and out with the wedding ring, like
Yeah.
based on how the conversation was going.
Now, you have a hot take on Spider-Man 3.
I mean, I really just have all these years I've just said it to be contrarian.
Oh, really? So you didn't actually like it?
No, I do like it, but like I think I defended it more than it needed, more than
Same
it
reason
deserved.
you gave Across Spider-Verse an 8 out of 10 instead of a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, just to be different.
I will say, rewatching Spider-Man 3, when you get to Evil Parker,
Yeah.
legitimately makes me laugh.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like the stuff people shout on the movie for, I was like, those parts were really funny. Like
Yeah.
Sam Raimi got to do a lot of his thing. The parts that were bad were trying to shoehorn all these different villains in, which, from what I understand, wasn't his call exactly.
He didn't want Venom in the movie.
Yeah.
He just wasn't really a Venom fan. They kind of pushed it on him. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the dancing Peter Parker was not the problem with that movie. I actually thought that was funny.
That's like the biggest impact on the culture that the movie had.
Yeah.
Like that movie had more impact than most other movies of its caliber because of that scene.
The problem was the storytelling. Here's a couple quick reminders. One, Peter Parker kisses Gwen Stacy doing the upside down kiss in front of MJ before he had the symbiote. That is completely out of character. He wouldn't do that. And then he wouldn't be confused like, I don't see the problem. It's part of my job. And then also, James Franco, Harry Osborn, he has hated Spider-Man these last couple movies. He wants to kill him. He wants revenge because he thinks that Spider-Man killed his father. He finally changes his mind because his butler is I cleaned his wounds that night. He was killed by his own glider.
Didn't say anything.
Like, you haven't said anything in these last two movies. We don't know your relationship with the butler. Like, you have a really close...
How many lives could he have saved if he said something earlier?
Exactly. Like, it's not like Batman and Alfred, where if Alfred said something to Batman, Bruce Wayne would believe it because you understand their relationship. But this butler, he's been in the movies, but he's had virtually no lines. And then suddenly he's pivotal to this major change in a character's arc. So those were the problems with Spider-Man
That's just
3.
like the script needed the plot to happen.
Exactly.
They just like found some way to get it to happen.
I really need to run to the restroom. Can I go? You guys keep it going for a couple minutes?
Yeah, you can put on movie files comment there.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. I'm the same way. I watched Spider-Man 3 now and think it's hilarious. The mind games Henry was playing with Peter kills me. LOL. I love
Which one's Henry again?
wait, Henry? Oh, Harry.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
When he was like going out with
Yeah, and he was in the restaurant.
MJ and
He's like,
stuff.
"How's the pie?" So good.
So
and then
good.
he disappears.
Yeah.
when Peter looks back.
or and he's like, bake me some cookies with nuts in them.
Yeah, that wasn't Harry, but
Yeah, I know, but there's
something
just like
Harry would have
a
done.
lot of those funny
Nuts in 'em.
lines that just like awkward phrases that you remember because it was a funny movie and like people don't give that movie enough credit.
I do love how the guy he's supposed to pay rent to just like became afraid of him.
Oh yeah, because
And
he like
stopped
shouts at
bothering
him
for-
and fix this damn door, right?
What do you say? You'll get the rent when it
When you fix this damn
yeah,
door.
yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah. And but like that guy was always kind of nice to him,
Yeah.
And so it like breaks your heart when you're like, Peter was a good boy and now he's like being mean to everyone. He's all emo with his hair.
Yeah, looked really good. Right?
Yeah. The pie scene, yeah. What was better, American Pie scene or Spider-Man pie scene?
Oh man, they need a crossover.
You got Which pie scene is
yeah,
better?
chat. Which which pie scene is better?
Okay, so I was thinking about the names of the Sony Spider-Man movies, like the new ones.
Right.
You have Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing after. I feel like there can't be more the nuts line. Yeah, we talked about the nuts line. It was like, and the nuts line. Remember the nuts line? I don't like. I think there can't be a fourth one.
Well,
They
there
just
can,
base it-
there can be because this is a two-parter. Technically, both these is only a second.
Yeah, but
movie
part
anyway.
2 has a name that positions it as like the final one. Or at least it's the last one that'll involve
Well,
the
it'd be something
multiverse.
like out of. No, that's what Beyond means. Back into the Spider-Verse.
after, so that'll be the 4th one.
You didn't see my comments about the
I
nuts?
talked about the nuts.
Oh, you did?
You're on.
This is the
delay.
third
must be
time
it.
we're talking
It's
about
a
the
delay.
nuts
It's
now.
got to be a delay.
Uh,
What are you talking about? Back to the Spider-Verse? What are you saying?
I was
Trying to
talking
predict
about
it
how
going
like the third one's going to be called Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Right.
I feel like that kind of caps it off. So like you broke the cardinal rule. That means we know he was listening in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Which we
Well,
knew
also
anyway
he
because you were
was typing
commenting.
in
I know. But so the just based on the names, like after the third one, you would either the series is done or you at least don't expect the multiverse to play much of a role anymore.
Right.
Which you were kind of alluding to anyway, that they might continue with this, but to cover kind of less ground.
Spider-Verse. The search for more money. The Spaceballs reference. Sorry, I'm sorry. That was stupid.
Yeah.
If you if you could greenlight one other Spider-Man film, which would it be? Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4 or Andrew Garfield
here's the
Spider-Man
thing.
3?
If it was Spider-Man, Toby Spider-Man 4, I think it'd have to be a lot different. He's old. He's older now.
Yeah.
Like the role has to be different. It can't just be him like all young swinging around.
They have to
really
pull him
young.
out of retirement.
Andrew Garfield, I think, could do a more realistic Spider-Man now, but probably I want to see Toby.
One of the best moment probably in Homecoming was when Andrew Garfield saved the other Gwen, right?
No Way Home, you mean? No
Whatever.
Way Home. Yeah, when he saved MJ.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "I'm fine."
Yeah, because it was funny, but you're also like, oh man,
Causing her to fall in love with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
and it broke the timeline. And then he started going, bzz, bzz. And then Dana was like, look at his.
Yeah, probably realistically Andrew Garfield.
I
But-
think he's done with Spider-Man.
Wait, the problem with getting Andrew Garfield back is he says, "Well, I'll do it if there's a good story."
So that's out the window.
Yeah.
Well, what they gotta do is make a Toby Spider-Man 4, but put Andrew Garfield in his role.
That's what I think. Honestly, if it were up to me, it's hard to imagine. You can't do a solo Tobey Maguire. Even Andrew Garfield, it's hard to imagine a solo. I say do a twofer, get the two of them together.
It would be cool to see the Andrew Garfield where he went to a dark place. That would be cool.
That would be cool, yeah.
And now you just watch Toby with like MJ.
That was
Wait,
one
no. Oh, they did get together, right?
Wait, no way.
Yeah.
Home.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, No Way Home. Actually, one thing I liked here is you see Peter Parker with MJ, and you see a little bit of their life.
Yeah.
No Way Home, like
There should have been a scene
Yeah.
of Tobey Maguire going back to Mary Jane.
that's what it should have been in the after credits, not Venom for some reason.
It's so stupid. I'm sorry, that was bad.
That was pure marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pure Amy Pascal being like, "Can I please put Venom in the movie?" And Kevin Feige's like, "Fine."
But we're putting it after the credits. Now we're telling people there's no after credit sequence.
Yeah. They, yeah, one, we don't have to go into, I have like some criticisms of No Way Home, but like, the most important question is, would you put this in your top 10 movies of all time?
No.
I mean, probably not. I'd have to like.
I
sit down
will-
and make a list.
I will admit, during the movie,
You're like, this is the best movie I've ever
there were
seen.
parts where I was like, I don't know, this thing, it feels like one of my favorite movies. I'm sure it won't be, like if I rewatch it, because then I'm like, what are some great movies? Like Goodfellas,
Shawshank Redemption.
My Cousin Vinny,
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. Yeah. So probably not,
Simpsons,
but
Maybe.
Braveheart.
I really liked it. Isn't that enough?
John Wick. The Raid. Dragged Across Concrete.
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
What's the one?
The Raid 2.
The other one.
The Raid 2.
The other one.
Brawl and Cell Block 99.
Not that one. The one that's like.
the Wild West one.
Yeah. What's that called?
That's Craig Solar, Wild Wests. Bone Tomahawk.
Bone Tomahawk. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even a cool name. That was
It's
a great
really cool
movie.
name. Yeah, that was a great movie.
And even that, I don't think is top
So
10.
what was better, Bone Tomahawk?
And then you have like all the Quentin
Across the
Tarantino movies.
Spider-Verse. Yeah, it's true. So probably not it's definitely in my top 10 Spider-Man movies, of which there have only been 10, I think.
No, it was one of the best Spider-Man movies.
Definitely. It was one of the Spider-Man movies.
There's one of the movies.
All right. Adam, any other thoughts on Across the Spider-Verse?
See it. I mean, if you haven't seen it, you should see it. I didn't see it yet. But
After an hour and a half of spoilers.
I bet there's people, some of the people watching probably haven't seen it. It's pretty early.
Ryan,
Did I?
I don't know. Was it better than Into the Spider-Verse one?
I don't remember
Yeah.
well enough. I know you asked him.
It was better.
but-
Okay.
I think so.
I mean, did you see it more than once in the Spider-Verse?
I don't. No, I don't think
Me
so.
either. Yeah.
But I feel right now like I enjoyed it in the theater more than I enjoyed Into the Spider-Verse
Yeah.
in the theaters. I feel like I'm gonna remember this one more than.
It felt like somehow they managed to make it feel really personal with a lot of emotional stakes, but at the same time, this really epic feel of we're seeing all these different worlds. And I was excited for all the references I knew were coming. I just can't wait to see more of the world, but also it never felt like we lost sight of Miles and Gwen's story arcs. So yeah, in the moment, I agree with Ryan Trutner. In the moment, I forgot any other previous movie existed. Maybe if I rewatched it, I'd feel different. But in the moment, I was just speechless. Like honestly, this movie it really sucked me in. Like I had such a good time with this movie.
There were moments of like pure immersion where I felt like the same feeling I had when I went on Space Mountain, like at Disney. You know, like it's just like pure sensation, pure sensory overload, and not in a bad way.
This would have been good with good 3D. Like I thought 3D was always terrible and blurry and dark, but Avatar 2 was great in 3D. Imagine this in 3D with that quality, with it swinging toward you and stuff.
That would have been cool, yeah. I'm sure you could see it in 3D. I don't know. Like a lot of movies come out in 3D now, you just don't even realize it. And when I'm going to buy tickets, I just scroll right past that. Yeah, great movie. Anything else wrapped up here?
More Genki next time.
Yeah, more Genki. That was a slight criticism.
Hanky
This
game.
is just weird. Like the one guy you've revealed your identity
Yeah.
to, and it's like, yeah, it's a guy. Don't worry about him.
Yeah,
Just shut
like
up.
Video games while
better
the whole
shut your-
multiverse.
I've had enough out of you. All right, let's wrap it up. Thank you everybody for joining. A couple quick
Couple
We
quips.
gave you 90 minutes. Wow.
Hey.
Adam,
More like Ryan Kashner, you know what I'm saying?
thank you very much for this Looney Tunes money. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, it's California bucks.
Yeah, California dollars.
Com money.
Next time I'm in San Francisco, I'll buy Venom a drink. You know,
I can't
Is that where he
believe
lives?
it's San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's the Venom we got.
I know.
You know, it's like he's maybe my favorite supervillain or one of them, and that's what they did with him.
He just looks cool, right? That's the main thing. He's got the sharp teeth and like the
and
lizard
well, it's
tongue
like a
and the
perfect-
evil eyes.
It's a
I love
perfect-
evil looking eyes like
but
that.
it's like a perfect opposite to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
and I love the whole symbiote idea of how he's like combined with it, and like,
I agree with all of that.
I want a good movie, and I want
But
it to have nothing to
I've
do
never
with the Venom
consumed a Spider-Man story with a good Venom
movie. Dude, look,
anything.
90s,
But I also
Spider-Man.
haven't read really any
Dude,
of the
90s
comics.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
Except
It's
with you.
great.
Yeah.
You read those?
No, the cartoon.
Oh, the cartoon,
You guys
cartoon.
keep doing this. Like you're both looking at me and just having individual conversations.
Looking at you.
Yeah, you're like, yeah. So I liked
Anyway,
Venom
My-
and
my
this.
Thank you,
my
Ryan,
contacts
for
are
the support.
blurry. I don't even know what I'm looking at.
But Ryan, from the bottom of my heart, like
Cockles.
thanks from my
He's
cockles
shaking them out,
to
like
yours.
getting every little
Thank you so much.
thimbleweed. Tumbleweed.
You guys are
off of
amazing.
it.
Jeez.
So listen, we gave you, except for Ryan. Ryan, you're off the hook. You can go to bed. Everybody else, we gave you free content for the last hour and 40 minutes. This is all I ask. If each one of you got only 1,000 of your friends to subscribe,
Wait, can I tell them my trick?
sure.
Okay, back when we were doing Saulcast, our Better Call Saul podcast, which you can still check it out online. I would go into. Now I wouldn't make a trip out of it just for this purpose, but if I was
I
at an
know what
Apple
you're
store
saying.
anyway, the phones were all like signed into some generic Apple accounts that were meant to make it like a more thorough testing experience for the people. And so I would just go from podcast app to podcast app through like 20 phones, leaving good reviews for our podcast.
You know those are set to reset every 10 minutes, right?
The reviews stayed.
The reviews stayed,
The
yeah.
reviews stayed. And to this day, they're all
Oh,
still
the
there.
reviews, I got you.
That said, if you go look, the majority of the reviews are natural and organic, but sometimes you gotta do something unnatural and demonic to
right.
get a
That
foothold
shop's
in this
organic.
industry.
And so here's the true. This is from the bottom of my heart. All right, here's my true request. This isn't a joke. I already used my joke.
Go to the nearest Apple store.
We live stream every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Tune in. Okay.
That's it. That's all.
That's it.
That's really all you're
Number
asking.
2. But also, if you can go into any, what we just did here, that's a podcast. You can actually listen to it on any podcast app. And if you go into the Apple Podcast app, search OneTake, leave a 5-star review. Currently, our only review is one guy who's like, this is the only podcast. So I give it 5 stars. But it makes me, I love the concept of podcasts. And one day I hope there are more podcasts out there. But right now,
a joke.
there's only one take. But it is actually pretty good. That's the review.
So they just don't know how to use their phone or
One cast.
find other podcasts.
So yeah, look up OneTake. Anything else, Adam?
Oh, we got to
Oh,
thank Ryan
Ryan.
again.
Ryan, you're out of control, Ryan. Thank you for the super chat. You guys are the best.
I think we remember most.
I-
People
Our
that
frequent flyers, we remember this.
listen,
Yeah.
people that interact, like we remember them.
I remember people.
Kill has a list.
I
I remember their little avatars.
I remember people who used to talk to us like 2 years ago, and I worry about them.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
I
Dax.
hope they're okay. Yeah, I was just thinking
yeah,
of her.
Dax
Yeah.
Snare, are you out there? Like, are you okay? Game support gaming 2020.
Yeah.
Now known,
2023.
yeah, now known as support gaming 2023. Like, I remember all you guys. MJ, Omar,
You, me.
you, me,
Ryan.
yeah,
They-
you,
that-
you remember you, me.
You, me remembers me.
Yeah.
You. But yes, thanks again, Taratna.
Yeah,
See, that's how we're going to remember it. Remember
we'll
Ryan.
remember you, Ryan, always. You know, especially if we get another super
Yeah,
chat.
yeah. I mean, it doesn't. It goes a long way. You give us another one, well, forget it.
Just move
We'll even
that,
tell Daniel
move that
about
dot over.
I will point out he waited until Daniel left to be like, "You guys are the best."
Yeah.
Specifically,
He's like, I
you
couldn't
guys.
send this before.
We'll remember Beast Boy.
This I've never. This I feel
Nah,
like
he's
that's
a
the
regular, man.
Yeah, he was on our
I haven't been on a lot of live streams lately. So.
I don't know.
W stream. That means win stream.
we
That's
won.
really good.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everyone, and I'll see you Friday at 10 a.m.
Yes.
Eastern time.
I wish I could join, but maybe I'll chime in through the
Yeah,
chat.
and we can do some other, wacky OneTake
Sumo facts.
sumo facts. We can do other live streams in the evenings when you can join.
Watch Sanctuary. It's
Yeah.
a great sumo wrestling show.
Yeah,
on
I'm planning
Netflix.
to start that soon.
Okay, this is what we're gonna wrap up on. Okay, I did a poll before the movie started. I posted this to YouTube, and I'll reveal the results now,
I
because
love when you do this.
I have an A-list membership to AMC,
Oh.
and I went with Adam, Daniel, Alun, and other people too. And because I have A-list, I bought all the concessions because that way we can go in the A-list line. Here's the thing. I have a bunch of reward points that I've earned by buying popcorn, and I used my reward points. So I actually didn't pay a dime.
We should compensate you for this.
That's the question,
Here's
right?
what we
Yeah, we
should-
definitely should.
Really, what we should do is split the membership.
Because that's the thing,
we
right?
didn't, though.
Oh, the popcorn was wait, the popcorn and the soda, it was all free, right, Gil? I mean, I pay a monthly membership fee.
No,
I spent a bunch of
you
money.
will not find anyone in our group who thinks that
Yeah, I did a
we
poll.
don't owe you as a result.
So I did a poll about this, and here are the
I
results.
want to see the question.
If you pay for your and your friends' popcorn using AMC A-list reward points, do you still Venmo request
Hold on,
them?
friends. If you guys specify brothers, because brothers you should be more lenient with.
Well, I said
Ah.
friends.
Whoa.
Do you
Right?
still Venmo request them, or do they get free popcorn and sodas? Vast majority said free. It's a nice gesture.
91%.
Oh, yeah,
This
but-
is-
but we
has
do it a lot, though.
125 votes.
In the comments, I wrote Nicole Kidman would know what to do in this situation. By the way, Ryan,
We can care.
Ryan,
Your accent just
yeah.
he gave us one more super chat.
Now I'm definitely gonna
Wait,
freaking
who?
remember him.
Ryan,
Doesn't
Tretna.
ring a bell.
Putner.
Tret-
That did a
You're
joke.
out of your mind.
Oh, I see. He's like,
Did
I
you
need
read-
something
did
to
you read what he
refresh my
said?
memory.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah. I'm starting
You
to
gotta read
forget. I got that Peter Parker thing.
yeah.
I don't remember who he is. Ryan did a Doctor Strange spell. I'm nerd on Earth 1999. Ryan, seriously, you're an incredible person. I don't care what everyone like. Literally,
I don't know what
everyone says
everyone.
about you.
Well, they might say good things. We literally don't know.
I want you tomorrow. I want you to walk around the streets and just scream that guy on the internet said I'm amazing. A guy with 150,000 friends. That's what I call my subscribers.
This really starts. You're starting to sound like Michael Scott here.
Just tell people you're somebody. You were nobody. Now you're somebody. Ryan.
Oh, because the
Super Chats.
Oh, I get it.
We are giving him that status. Like,
Yeah, on our Patreon, somebody.
yeah.
It's like, hey, you donate your.
For that, you're nobody.
I want you, Ryan. You should just walk around, just punch people in the face, shove them.
All right, don't advocate violence.
Yeah, it's a good point. All right, I want you to
We definitely don't want you to do
just
this.
give people a look. Just give them menacing looks.
Threatening looks.
He's a menace. No, like he's a great dude, Ryan. Stop bad mouthing Ryan.
All right,
what are we
it's
doing
bedtime.
here?
It's
All
bedtime.
right. Good night, everybody. All right, thank you all for joining. You're all incredible people.
See you on Friday.
We'll see you on Friday. Subscribe to the podcast. Watch my videos.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
It really.
All right. Thank you everyone
right,
for joining. All right.
Bye.
See you on the next
One
One Take.